Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Okay. All right. So whoever.
This is my passion. This is what I love to do. But some days, sometimes, I'm just like you, man. I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. I'm just like you. Damn, I hate this job. Man, I hate this job. Man, I hate my job. From a good dream I awake, sun rays on my face, planning out my day, hoping this ain't the one that I catch a case. I feel so good, I feel so straight. My manager keep calling me saying, hurry up, you late. Hurry up, you lay off. Y'all, man, I hate this job. Man, I hate this job. Been trying to play it cool, but it's hard to play it off. I've been hanging on to this bullshit, cause my car still ain't paid off. I know I'm on my way up, my boy just got laid off, so y'all, man, I hate this job. Man, I hate this job. These hoes here so ratchet, these niggas here so sneaky. Y'all don't even really pay enough for y'all to only pay bi-weekly. I'm trying to double up my cash, take this job, shove it up your area. Yo, man, I hate this job. Sometimes I wanna say, walk in and slap my boss. This shit is getting hard. Damn, I hate this job. Gotta make it out of this struggle, bruh. And I don't really mean to take it out on you. You just a customer, but damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. We're the reason why your stockholders always stay afloat. Yet I'm asking, are they hiring? Like everywhere I go, schedule will say 9, but I think it's fine if I clock in at 9:04. I work 40 hours a week plus overtime just to be bro. So y'all, man, I hate this job. Hate that I applied. So much has transpired since the day that I was high. Told me I could advance, but you were telling me lies. Gotta give your notice before I quit, but you don't say shit right before I'm fired. Damn, man, I hate this job. Sometimes I wanna say, walk in and slap my boss. This shit is getting hard. Damn, I hate this job. Gotta make it out of this struggle, bruh. And I don't really mean to take it out on you. You just a customer, but damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. You and your procedures, you and your protocol, you and your policies, none of that shit don't apply to me. You and your quotas, you and your standards, you and your 2 sick days a year. Y'all niggas bananas. Wonder why the postman's posted with hammers, going postal with Popo on camera. His wage got him enraged, stressed out, it's hard to maintain. He flips the middle, grabs his. He said, if you don't get the picture, I quit, you ain't shoot. Mother, man, I hate this job. Sometimes I wanna say, walk in and slap my boss. This shit is getting hard. Damn, I hate this job. Gotta make it out of this struggle, bruh. And I don't really mean to take it out on you. You just a customer, but damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Look, man, I hate this job. I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like you. I'm out here trying to take care of my family. Damn, I hate this job. It's not always glamorous, for real, but I do what I gotta do for me and mine, you know? Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate this job. Damn, I hate my job. Damn, I hate this job. I'm just like you, nigga. Damn, I hate this job. Man, I hate this job. Man, I hate my job.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and or the host. They do not explicitly nor necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by the channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during the program. Basically, if I didn't say it, don't come for me. You come for the person who said it. And please don't sue me for somebody else's words. With that said, let's start the show, motherfucker.
This that squad sound. This that squad sound.
What's good, neighborhood? It's your man Mark Nash. Another great episode of Breaking Beats. Man, let's get to chopping this fable, man. Yo, first of all, I'm gonna apologize to you guys ahead of time for the technical difficulties. Let me try to fix that, because that's too bad. That's too bad. I ain't gonna be able to do the show all night like that. I broke my mic stand last night, ordered a new one. It'll be here tomorrow. But I'm not going to be able to do the whole show holding the mic up. We're not about to do that. So let me try to rig it up. But yeah, I broke the mic stand, so this part right here is gone. So I'm going to try to place it gently up here. I'm definitely going to have to be very, very still on this show tonight so y'all don't keep hearing stuff like that, because that's bad. That's very bad. Oh, fell down again. So I'm gonna try this how I had it before, and hopefully that'll work. I just can't touch it, and I can't move around too much. Damn it. All right, so don't touch it. Don't move around too much. All right, man, let's get to chopping this fable, man. Your fate Tupac looking fatal. For the record, I've been very consistent and very transparent for quite some time. I don't like Teofimo Lopez. And this is why. Somebody said use some headphones. I got on headphones, B. It ain't the headphones, it's the mic stand. It's nothing to hold the mic. So the mic needs to sit on something or I need to hold it. So I got on headphones, but the mic needs to sit on the mic stand. The mic stand is broken. So I kind of just have the mic placed on the mic stand. It's not screwed in. The part where the screw goes in, snapped. But the new mic stand will be here tomorrow. So I do apologize for the technical difficulties on that aspect, but let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. Teofimo No Buzz Lopez is a racist piece of shit, yo. I'll keep it short with y'all. Tonight. Keep it short. Shout out to everybody who's here early. All right, let's play some of these clips. Like, Teofimo Lopez has a very racist history. We're going to go through some of his racist history tonight. Can the class say yay? This kid is the worst. He's a cancer on the sport, man. So I got a question for you guys in the chat. Should he be banned like Ryan Garcia? Since we have uniform rules in the sport of boxing, right? Keeping it consistent with the uniform rules, governing rules. One say one say us all, right? Yeah, he's a sucker, though. I don't rock with this kid. And things like this is why, little by little, some of the people that support Teofimo Lopez, I'm starting looking at them with a side eye as well. The podcasters that and the shows that promote him and support him. Look at them as like with a side eye too, like, oh wow. Funny thing is, they like saying they not like us. Like, bro, you not like us, homie.
You never heard of it.
Part of the game is this. Somebody said, copy that. Thanks for allowing, for always keeping it quality. Yeah, man. If this thing start falling off this mic stand and it sound bad, man, shoot, I'm gonna have to land the plane a little early. It's gonna be a short show anyway, man. I'm only gonna give you about an hour tonight. I only want to do an hour. I say that a lot of times when we go over. I say I only do 2 hours and we end up doing 3, 2.5, because it's hard to let go sometimes. But all good things must come to an end, even this show. So let's talk about this, man. Teofimo is been full of nasty work for quite some time now. And everybody knows it. It's like the biggest open secret in boxing that this kid is it's a racist piece of shit. It's like everybody knows it, but nobody want to say nothing about it. Come on, fam. This isn't good for the sport of boxing. Can we all agree to that? Can we agree to that? That's not a good thing. It's not good for the sport. Let's play one of these old clips.
This is my last fight on ESPN. Oh.
That's his dad in the back. Oh, don't say that, Poppy. His dad always trying to reel him in. His dad an old school racist. He knows he's an old school racist. He knows, like, hey, look, yeah, you might not like him, but you don't need to say that because it's not good for business. His dad do understand that. His dad does understand that. But let's continue. Let's go down memory lane. Some of Teofimo's greatest hits when it comes to being racist, and his open racism, open disdain for black folks.
This is my last fight on ESPN. Oh. If they want the black fighters, they can keep them. I brought Bud Light to Top Rank.
Wow. We just getting started. I mean, he got a greatest hits album of racist remorse. What's up, Philip H, the all-time great? Drumming for life. I appreciate your support. Lisa Bell, she never fails. Young Merv, what up? Yeah, bro. For the longest, Merv, he been throwing jabs. Drumming for life, what up? Clips, what up? Powerhouse Watson, I see you. Yeah, man, he's been doing this for quite some time. It's like the biggest secret open. It's like everybody knows it, but nobody says it. So my question is, will he ever be held accountable for his racist remarks? Or does he have to mention Muslims and Jews for him to be held accountable? Is it like, okay, he can say whatever he wants to about black folks, but once you start talking about them small hats and the new money man, Turkey al-Sheikh, now it's a problem. It's not a problem until when he talks about us. He got to offend the small hats.
Small hats.
Or the brothers over there in the Middle East. Shout out to UGC Flame. Oh, let's play the new clip. Y'all want to hear the new one? Y'all want to hear the new one? Let me see. We got one. Let me see. I'm sorry. That's playing twice. Hey, look. I got you, UGC. Let me play this last one real quick because we're going in order. Matter of fact, we ain't even going in order. It's a whole bunch of them. His dad telling him in this other one, Poppy, they're going to bury you. Don't say that. His dad keep telling him, stop saying these racist things in front of other people. You're supposed to say that at home. You're saying it out in public. Let's play it, though. Let's play it. This is another one of Teofimo's greatest hits.
That's what you're trying to say. It's cool, man. Just ask me the questions.
In the lead up to the fight, you said if they want the black fighters, they can keep them. Why'd you say that?
Huh?
Why?
It's just a biased part of what I'm seeing in our field. That's it. Because it just seems like there's certain ones favoritizing others.
That nigga said favoritizing others. Certain ones favoritizing others. All right, let's go.
I believe the commentators that are on the stand of ESPN are a bit biased to certain fighters.
Off the record.
No, it's not off the record.
Now his dad jumping in and said off the record. Mark Krieger waving his hand like, man, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, I got him now. You trained him in the ring, you should have trained him in the media. But I got him now. He was like, no, off the record. And T.O.'s like, nah, it ain't off the record. I'm going, let's go.
ESPN are a bit biased to certain fighters.
Off the record.
No, it's not off the record. Keep this off the record.
You wake up, bro.
I don't think any.
Say that.
He said, "When you wake up, bro, you cannot say that." He's gonna continue. He said, "They're gonna bury you for this, man." He's been dead. And then we just poking a body with the stick, baby.
Don't get into that, bro. Wait, let me. Into this. I'm not falling into it.
Brothers, talk about the fight.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about
Go.
No, then let me let it go. Let me let it go.
Hold up.
Let it be. What are you scared of?
He said, "Let it be." What are you scared of? We ain't scared of these N-words. Oh, let it be. Let me say it. We talk like this at home.
Stop being a about it and handle it like a man.
Talking to his father. Let's handle it like a man. Let's say it.
Handle it like a man. All of y'all, handle it like a man. That right there I've been dealing with for a while.
Oh, yeah. So recently, and it's been others, but let's get it going though. So now we gotta add to Teofimo's greatest hits. He's calling Terence Bud Crawford, future Hall of Famer, pound for pound, one of the best fighters, if not the best fighter in the sport. You know, I got him as number one. And Gervonta Tank Davis. Y'all know I like Tank, but I'm not a Tankamaniac. Still, I don't like all the choices of opponents, but I respect him for what he's doing. It is what it is. But Teofimo feels the need to call them. Wait for it. Monkeys. Oh, man. My bad. Monkeys. That's where we at with it. Teo wants to call his black contemporary monkeys. My bad. My hand slipped off the mouse. My bad. You get it together now. Play the next clip. Play it. Where's that? There we go. This your boy, right? Watch the smile on his face when he calls them monkeys, too. The little smirk. He looks right in the camera, calls them monkeys. He knows what he's doing when he's doing this, yo. And he's trying to appeal to a certain fan base, a certain demographic, certain market. I'm going to open these phone lines up. I want to hear what y'all say. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Maybe y'all riding with it. Maybe Martin Nash is just blowing this all out of proportion. Okay, you hear it. You tell me.
Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Y'all all right with that? What does that even mean? It's a little homoerotic, too, if you ask me. I got to put a case on you. I wonder how many bottles of baby oil and personal lubricant he got around his crib. So let's hear it. Okay, let's hear it again.
Okay.
Now he looks at the camera. You're gonna hear somebody saying something off camera. Most likely his dad again, because his dad is always trying to reel him in off that racist shit. And he's gonna look over and then he's gonna kind of try to clean this up.
All right. So whoever,
but because you can hear the interview like, so whoever, damn, he just called them monkeys. The interviewer is even taken aback. He's gonna say, so whoever wants to fight, then he's gonna try to clean it up. But nah, I ain't buying it.
you don't care which one of them you fight.
Nah, they say they're gorillas. I'm a lion. I eat them. Let's go.
First of all, lions don't even eat gorillas, bro. Lions ain't out there eating no gorillas, bro. Nah, Tio, I gotta put a case on you, bro. Tried to clean it up, tried to change it. I never heard Bud Crawford call himself a gorilla. But you didn't call them gorillas. You called them monkeys. Did y'all notice that, right? He tried to clean it up, tried to spin it, tried to fix it. But he said what he said, and he meant that first time. That's called a Freudian slip, ladies and gentlemen. He did that. He know what he was doing. Let's play it one more time.
All right. Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Come on, fam. Come on, fam. Y'all okay with it? That's cool. Y'all show me those National Geographic videos of the lion eating the gorilla. Because I don't see those. No, bro. No, bro. He tried to clean it up. He tried to fix it. You can hear the person. You can probably see it on the person's face holding the camera. Heard the person in the background like, yo. And tried to clean it up. He's one of those guys. He thinks he's smart. He's like a dangerous person, like somebody that you give a little bit of information and they think they know a lot about a topic. He's one of those type of people. This guy's a racist piece of shit, and I'm done with him, bro. I'm done with Tio.
Never heard of it.
I've been done with him, but I'm done. Nah, it ain't race baiting. He said it. Is this race baiting? Somebody said it's race baiting. Top Rank can keep their black fighters. These are his words. His daddy even was telling him to stop. You must have just got here. We going through all his greatest hits. All his greatest hits. But you're welcome to call in and voice your opinion. Where the phone line is? Let me see if you're gonna be brave or you're gonna be a coward. What phone? Let's see. Ooh. I'll give you a little time. Plug this jack in. You're dealing with a real one, baby. Let me read some of these comments. I only got 3% on this phone, but I tell you what, I got that supercharge over here, so it's gonna charge up real fast. We're gonna see if you're gonna call in. Or you're gonna troll from the chat. So what y'all think? Am I tripping? Is this a big nothing burger? Hey, look, Mark, he did nothing wrong. Is Jerry gonna call in tonight and say, I don't think it was nothing wrong with that? Whichever monkey wants to get a banana, monkeys like bananas. But then he said they was gorillas and he's gonna eat them. He's gonna eat them like a lion eats a gorilla. Lions don't eat gorillas. Which one is it? Are they monkeys? And you the banana? Pause. The hell? The hell is going on? Let's keep it a buck. Jerry, I ain't opened the phone line yet because I ain't got enough time on the phone line yet. I got to charge this phone up, Jerry. I only got 3%. So give me a couple minutes. Give me like 5-10 minutes. Let me get a little juice on this phone. I got you. Jerry. DJ MFB, what up, dope? He said, what'd he say? Oh, he called them monkeys.
Okay.
Dogs.
Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Hey, look, I ain't taking. Look, y'all got to give me like 5 minutes. I only got like 5% on this charger right here. Only got 5% on this charger. I got to let this phone charge up because I need at least 20% to do this show. I need at least 20%. But it's a supercharger. Y'all give me a couple minutes. By the time I finish reading these comments, we'll have it. He said, I'm trying to get your ass always playing with me. Jerry. I kid, Jerry. You all right. Jerry, if I thought that about you, bro, I wouldn't even chop it up with you as much as I do. You all right with me, Jerry. When I was sick and had COVID, Jerry was one of the few people to call me and say, hey, Mark, just checking on you. Where's my damn show? I've been waiting all night. Last couple nights, haven't seen you, buddy. So, Jerry, all right, I'm trolling, Jerry. All right, let me read some of these comments, and then I'm going to open the phone lines up. Promise. I want to hear what all of y'all got to say, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I want to know, should he be suspended or banned like Ryan Garcia? Is this a nothing burger? Is this okay? Did he misspeak? Do you think he's racist? Do you agree with me? You can disagree. That's the thing about this show. I'm not going to cuss you out and hang up on you. I'm not going to block you and time you out of chat for that. Other things will get you the fuck up out of here, though, respectfully. Shout out to my guy Drummond for he said, for that extra 5% supercharged. Hell yeah, let me give you the drop. Shout out to my brother Drummond for life. Let me give him the $5 drizzop. Where we at, though?
I got 5 on it.
Yeah, man, like this is bad, man. This is bad. Or as they would say in corporate, this is inappropriate. Like, go to your job. Try this, y'all. For the people who say this is nothing wrong, go to your job tomorrow and try it. Let's just see how that worked out for you. You'll be calling me tomorrow saying, Yeah, they got me on suspension for about 6 days pending investigation. Yeah, you're gonna get fired with no unemployment, with no severance package. Bro, this is on all levels. There's no way you can make this right, especially with your history. Come on, man. Somebody say Jerry calls into the boxing voice. Oh, yeah, he calls into the boxing voice, Coach Malachi. Yeah, let me see. Where we at with it? All right, shit. We went from 3 to 11 pretty fast, so we moving right along. What's up, Patricia Show? Young Merv said, Jerry, y'all read that one. Clip said, Jerry, you need to tighten. He said, Jerry, you need to tighten it up on that ass play. Yeah. Definitely need to do that. Somebody said Teo should fight Mike Oxlund. I don't care who Teofimo Lopez fight. I will not buy it. I don't know. Let me take that back. I would pay good money to see Terence Bud Crawford whoop his ass, because all of this, the delusional talk, that's why the thumbnail got him like that, because the kid is delusional. He's crazy. He's off his rocker. He's gone. Mentally and emotionally weak. Crybaby. Soft. The homie was up there talking about he gonna beat Terence Bud Crawford. Even now, unless you a delusional fan that wake up in the morning, get off your knees and wipe your mouth because you've been standing by Teofimo Lopez toilet holding his Johnson for him while he take a piss, hoping that he'll skeet on you. Nigga, nobody believes he's about to beat Bud Crawford. You went life and death with George Kambosos and got your ass kicked. You are the reason why we know who George Kambosos is, most of it. Because he beat your ass in front of God and country in your backyard in New York City. Weak motherfucker, too. Never gave the man credit. He said he cheated. He blamed the judges. He blamed the refs. He blamed Triller. He blamed the zone. He blamed Eddie Hearn. He blamed everybody except the man in the mirror. You're supposed to start with the man in the mirror, coward. Sucker. Pussy motherfucker. I don't like him. And I don't hide it. And it takes a lot. Y'all know me. It takes a lot for me to be up here going straight, super sane, disrespecting these fighters. I believe they all deserve respect. It takes a lot of courage to get in that ring. But he a pussy, though. He a pussy. If I see him, I don't want no handshakes. I don't want no dab. I don't want to take no picture. Pussy. And I'm going to keep going about my day. Straight like that. I don't like him. I don't want no interviews, no picture, no rap, no nothing, bro. I don't rock with Teofimo No Buzz Lopez. Now I see why they was calling him Teofimo. Soft, crybaby, no accountability. I don't respect him. Don't respect his skills neither. Get him the fuck up out of here. He's a cancer to boxing, in my opinion. He should be done. Unless you're a racist too. Or maybe I'm just blowing it out of proportion. I'm being hypersensitive. Nah, bro. Because go to your job tomorrow and say that at your job. Say it at the meeting. Hey, which client you want to work with today? Whichever one of those, the two black clients too. Whichever one of the monkeys want to get the banana. I'm fired? Yeah, you fired, bitch. You can't say that. Try that shit at your job tomorrow at Jiffy Lube. Good luck. Good luck, homie. It's not going to work. Let's play it again for the people just got here.
Okay. All right.
Dogs.
Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's cool with that. Y'all respect that. Is this your king? Never heard of it.
Small hats.
I'm telling you, I want to know.
Never heard of it.
I know he's not a WBC champion. I want to know, Mauricio Suleiman, are you going to get offended by this too? Or does he have to offend Jewish people and Muslims to get banned? Because Ron Garcia said a whole bunch of stuff, but that Muslim, shit that he said. Yeah. And I don't want nobody calling in what Mike Tyson talked about eating people's babies and all that stuff. Man, get out of here, bro. Get out of here. WCS, what up? Nah, that's some sucker shit. I don't respect it. Don't like him. He's done to me. He's a cancer to the sport. He should be eradicated, removed, and if you still fuck with him, slow clap for you. Congratulations. You are a part of the problem. You're part of the problem. I don't respect this kid. I don't respect him. He's done to me, dog. He's done. He's done. Let's play it.
Dogs. Which one of those two fights interests you more, Gervonta Davis or Terence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Okay. All right. So whoever you don't care which one of them you fight.
They say they're gorillas. I'm a lion. I eat them. Let's go.
All right.
Gorillas don't even eat lions. I mean, lions don't even eat gorillas, yo. He tried to clean it up. Funny thing is about this too. In this clip, you'll notice he's standing there with his belt. I got the footage and the clip of him talking about Devin. He was like, "You hold that WC belt for near life. I'm surprised you didn't bring it with you now." Every time you see Teo now, you look up, he brings the belt with him to a fight. Y'all remember when he brought the damn franchise belt to the damn Canelo fight, with Canelo's fight for Undisputed? Canelo was like, "The fuck is that? No. We went and got the real one too, though. Like, we ain't got the franchise. You still got that? Still got that trinket?" He said Mark got the OG baby, OG Bobby Johnson soundbite. Shout out to Killer Man, WCS in the building, DJ MFB. He said that's also a pause comment for sure. It is what it is. Somebody said Crawford with come on, bro. He went life and death with George Kambosos. Went life and death with Sandor Martin. Got dropped twice. They only count once, but he got dropped twice. We saw it. Sandor Martin was on your ass. Went in there with Jermaine Ortiz. I thought Jermaine Ortiz won that fight, put on a boxing clinic. And then, come on, bro. I still got it. Don't forget that in the Sandor Martin fight. He thought he had lost that fight. He was about to cry. About to cry like a little bitch. I don't like him. I don't like him. Don't really like his fan base. Not too much of a fan of the podcasters and the people that I see supporting him, because I keep hearing and seeing the racial undertones in everything that they do. Okay, so my question is, will the WBC be consistent? Y'all double tap the screen on the way into the room. Double tap that so we get them likes up. Double tap that screen. Will the WBC be consistent? Should they be consistent? Should the WBO get involved? Like, hey, uniform governing bodies, right? Well, y'all should be uniform in how y'all govern racism in this sport. He's a cancer to the sport. This is not a good thing. And if you're a black person fucking with Teofimo after this, or as they would say now, person of color, looking at you kind of funny too, dog, with side eye, like, you feel me? I'm looking at you with a side eye too. I'm like, get off your knees and wipe your mouth, homie. Popping this motherfucker off. You crazy. Rollo Green, what up? Y'all don't fuck with T.O. Don't fuck with his fan base neither. Bunch of punk ass coward racist motherfuckers that hide behind their avatar. Wouldn't see me ever in real life. Or on this. Nigga can't see me in no kind of fashion, bro. Coward shit. I don't fuck with him. Don't like him. Some weak shit. There's nothing cool about this, yo. You can see it in his face. He knew what he said. You can hear even the journalist that, or whatever that was interviewing, journalist, YouTuber, media personality, the person interviewing was like, man, I would have had to say something right then. Like, whoa, you call them monkeys? What's up with that? Why you call them monkeys? Coward shit. I think we had we had 30. I can do the show. With 30. Let's get it. Let's open these phone lines up. I want to hear what y'all got to say. And if y'all ain't got nothing to say, shit, that's cool too. Be silent. In your silence, you're complicit. Just know that. With your silence, you complicit. (404-692-1766), 404-692-1. Touching this damn mouth, man. This mouse is so sensitive, man. If I touch it the wrong way, this should take me off the screen. I think I had something to touch. Jerry the Terrataska, all the way from B-More. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with it, man. He's speaking metaphorically. I mean, what's the problem?
Go ahead. It's your call. Go ahead. See what you guys say.
You know I'm just fucking with you, man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just gonna let you say your piece.
No, I'm consistent with my shit, bro. I don't like the racism. Thing is, I don't like it from Devin Haney, and I don't like it from Teofimo Lopez. I don't like it no matter.
Oh my God, this motherfucker brain up there. Ah! Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's just the truth, you know. What Devin Haney said is a racist comment.
Yeah, and we addressed that, that when it happened. We on this tonight. Let's go. Don't get off the hook, Jerry. He said this weekend.
Fighters making racist comments.
I'm talking about Teofimo, what he said this Saturday. Can you address that? Because we addressed Devin, what he said 6 years ago.
Just did. I'm not for it. I'm not down for it. I don't like it when none of them do it. Race doesn't need to be brought in like that. And he knows that black folks are sensitive to that monkey thing. He knows that. He's not that fucking dumb to not know that. One thing I don't know if I totally agree with you on is him trying to attract the demographic necessarily. I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to get a fight, a big fight. But he's going about it the wrong way by saying that. I mean, he might be held accountable for that kind of remark. Like you said, we'll see. And it's just a bad look all the way around. It's unnecessary. I mean, it's just totally fucking unnecessary. And it is racist. Because he knows, he's got to know that you don't say shit like that. And his dad, sound like his dad is in the back trying to tell him to shut the fuck up and just talk about boxing, you know. But I don't know what it is with him, man. If you notice, he calling out Crawford and Tank Davis. And what do those two guys have in common? Those are the only paydays that are near him that he could do. And I got a feeling he's looking to cash out and maybe make an early exit in boxing. And I don't really give a shit one way or the other because he's a very inconsistent fighter. It's hard to really get behind him as a fan, not only because of the things that he says, because he's said racist shit before, but also because he's very inconsistent, as we've seen. Looks good in certain fights, and in other fights, it's like you don't even know if he won the fight or not. So you can't. Someone put in the comments that you can't excuse. There's no excuse for that, and I agree. There's no excuse for it.
Okay, well, you said something, man, that made me think. You said he's looking for a big fight and cash out. It was something else you said. Damn, I should have wrote it down. I need to keep my notepad by this desk so I can write down.
Well, you said that he's trying to appeal to a demographic. I guess meaning that he's trying to appeal to racist boxing fans.
You don't think so?
He could be. I don't know, but that ain't going to help him get the fight. But I think in his mind, and I'm just spitballing here, that he thinks that if he insults or gets to these guys, Tank or Bud Crawford, in a manner of like offending them or something like that, that maybe that'll help him get the fight. I don't know what the fuck's going through his mind. Because when I listen to the guy talk, I'm like, this guy's a blabbering fucking idiot. He seems to think that he's a philosopher type, but when he talks, it's nothing but contradictions, and it's like blah, 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 blah. But you can tell in his mind, he thinks he's being incredibly insightful, you know. It's a delusionary thing. I don't know what to make of him, you know.
Bro, he's an open racist, Jerry. What's so hard to make about that? Believe people. Isn't that the famous Maya Angelou quote? When people tell you and show you who they are, believe them. What's so hard about believing that he's an open racist when he keeps telling you open racist? What, he got to put a neon sign on front of his boxing trunks for us to know he's an open racist?
No, I don't try to twist things, man. You already heard me say that.
I'm not trying to twist things. I'm not trying to twist
things.
I've been very,
then let's just go with what I said.
Frank with what I've been saying.
Racist comments, and yeah, you gotta believe people when they tell you who they are. I make no denials about that. When I say I don't know what to make of them, that's in context to a broader thing, and it's really just, it's not a definitive statement. Ryan Garcia had made some racist comments not long ago, and several black people that are near him and around him said, nah, he's not a racist. He's screwed up on drugs, and he's not racist, even though what he said certainly sounded racist to me. And I'm like you. When people tell me, when I hear what I hear, that's what I'm going to go with. You know what I mean? And you could argue that the people around him are likely getting paid by him, and so they probably, they probably have a reason to say something like that.
You think?
But
really?
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time,
I'm being facetious, Jerry. Of course.
Yeah. But at the same time, like when Bernard Hopkins said, "I'll never lose to a white boy." Do you think that because he said that he's racist because he said that?
I think he's delusional. I think he might just have a profound belief in himself, or think that he is superior to those people. Far as fighting and this, that, and the third, or I never lost to a white guy before, so I won't lose to a white guy. But it's not calling them, referring to dehumanizing them and calling them an animal. Do you get the difference there? Dehumanizing. What comes with dehumanizing somebody, Jerry? Once I dehumanize you and start calling you an animal, that means people can treat you like an animal, and it's okay.
I don't see much of a difference, especially since when you say I'll never lose to a white boy, you're actually calling the race by its name, and saying I'll never lose to a white boy is certainly an insult. It's basically suggesting that white guys can't fight. That's what it is, and calling them out.
But we know that's not true, though. We know it's some white guys that can fight and been fighting for a long time.
We're not talking about what we said, and if we're racist, we're talking about when black fighters say that. Are they considered racist for saying that? And I've asked a lot of black folks this, and for some reason, most of them don't seem to think so. They seem to think it's okay that they say something like that. I certainly don't, but I'm consistent. I don't believe any fighter.
Is it the word? Is it calling them a boy? Saying I never lose? Is it if he would have said I never lose to a white man? Would that be a problem? Or is that that the same thing?
It's calling them out literally by their race. Because Bernard Hopkins could have said what I used to hear Mayweather say: "I'll never lose. I don't think any of these guys can beat me."
Fair enough.
To me, that sums it up pretty good without downing anybody's race, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if Loma said, "Well, look, I could fight Tank Davis, but I'll never lose to a black boy," would you think that was racist? Of course you would.
Well,
why bring someone's race right into it?
Not even just that, but Jerry, historically, black men were called boy as a sign of disrespect too. You do know that,
all right?
Right?
Well, what if he said, "I'll never lose to a black man"? Would that make a difference?
Not to me. Not to me. I
No
don't know.
grown man wants
I don't know. Jerry, Jerry, you posed a good question, and now I got to think about it because I'm trying to hear it in Loma's voice now. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to hear it in my head.
I mean, when you
but to be fair,
the racist part of it, that's where it becomes racist.
But also too, it's almost too. I've heard people say the way the N word is used, right? Contextually, they'll say, "Hey, hearing Canelo, if Canelo would have got on the stage and said the N word, right? It would have got an outrage, right? But we saw the other Latino brother, Berlanga, talking to Caleb Plant, a white guy. He said, hey, I ain't talking, you don't talking to that fuck nigga over there. But he's talking about a white guy that Caleb Plant, and he's a Puerto Rican from New York. People don't have the same outrage. It was almost like he didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Zab Judah brought so my point is culture matters too, Jerry.
Yeah, well, Berlanga's Puerto Rican, and Puerto Ricans are half black.
You gonna make them Puerto Ricans call in, bro? You gonna make them call in?
Well, it's just true, no? You look at Felix Trinidad. Felix Trinidad looks like a black guy to me. Now, I can see he's Puerto Rican because I know that he's Puerto Rican, but his skin is, at least in my estimation, Mark, it's kind of the same tone as a lot of black folks, right? Kind of looks like you were saying about Kamala. She may be Indian or whatever, but like if you pull her out of a lineup, you'd think she was a black lady, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah. In the end, man, it's just not good. It's unnecessary, and you know, you're gonna have fans of Teofimo Lopez. You never hear me really talk about him too much,
because he ain't that good, Jerry. And he fighting guys like Steve Claggett. He fighting the Steve Claggett's of the world.
Yeah,
got cherry pick. Hey, look, cherry pick George Kambosos got his ass whooped for 12 rounds. Everybody made excuses. He had a hole in his chest, and the hole kept getting bigger. The size of a marble, the size of a quarter, a 50-cent piece. It was the size of a golf ball, tennis ball. Next thing you know, they're gonna say the nigga had a whole basketball, beach ball size hole in his chest. But he was able to fight 12 rounds.
Yeah, and hard. He was fighting hard in that fight.
Yeah, man, there was nothing wrong with that nigga's shoulder. It was his shoulder. It was the lungs. It was all kind of shit.
Yeah, but Kambosos was a mandatory fight. People forget
he
that.
Could have unified. He could have unified with Devin. He didn't have to do that. He could have unified with Devin, and I know that.
Well, perhaps, but that was a mandatory fight.
No, he didn't have that fight signed yet, bro. I remember, bro. I was around you boxing streets then. That fight was not signed yet.
And I know when Devin was a mandatory fight.
The fight was
Devin Haney.
Oh my God! The fight was not signed yet. The fight was not signed yet when Devin was trying to fight him.
So until they happen.
So don't unification Trump mandatories or no?
Typically they do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know the time frame of when he had to defend that.
I do, because I was there during that time. I was on a panel with Bill, him, his dad. No, Tio wasn't there. It was Bill and Senior. It was on Punch Boxing. And that was 2020? 2021? Some shit like that? Yeah, bro. I was around during that time, Jerry. And they was up there trying to make the fight. That shit was Bill was up there talking. No, Senior was talking shit. Bill pulled up. They was like, what's up? It was all cool. They both got off. It was Senior's birthday. So if you want to find it, I think he got turned that to members only because he got a relationship with him. And that's the episode where the dude is on the camera saying, Bill, bring me some white. That's the night we found out his dad was a cokehead.
Well, also Devin Haney signed with a different promoter, and after he signed over there with Eddie Hearn, he didn't fight any top-ranked fighters, none of them. So, you know, who does who really? Because Devin Haney was screaming Loma and Lopez. He was offered a contract by Top Rank to fight for the promoter who promotes those two fighters. But what he did is he went and signed with Eddie Hearn. And Bob Arum told him he went with the wrong promoter, and he didn't get any fights with top-ranked fighters. But he eventually did sign with Top Rank, and he got the Loma fight. He never got the Lopez fight, but he did get the Loma fight.
Wonder why?
And well, I don't know. I mean, maybe because they were in different weight classes.
He moved in the very next fight. He could have fought Tio over there. Tio wasn't on the table for him at 140. What was on the table for him at 140 was going up and fight Regis. You act like everybody was jumping out the window at that time to fight Devin. The only person who was jumping up to fight him was Shakur Stevenson.
Well, Regis was on the table when he went back to Eddie Hearn, not Top Rank.
No, he was at Top Rank. They could have put Tio on the table while they already got him locked in. They had a 3-fight deal with the option. You know that, right?
So. Well, I know he had a 3-fight deal.
Bro, so you wouldn't put an option on him? You don't think that's smart business? You don't think Top Rank and all their infancy of being in the business would have put an option on Devin? If they like, okay, let's give his first right to refuse.
But I don't know if they did. I don't know if they did.
Bill was up there talking about that guy ducked him. Everybody knew that guy had been ducking. Come on, bro. Everybody know this guy been ducking Devin Haney, Rich. Jerry.
Well, if Devin Haney wanted to fight him, he should have signed with Top Rank to begin with. He likely would have gotten the fight, at least in my eyes. You don't call out two top guys in the division and then go sign with a rival promoter that you know.
But Jerry, you smarter than this, though, B. You smarter than that. You know, just signing with a promoter doesn't automatically mean you get the fight. You do know that, correct?
Well, of course. But I do also know that when you sign with a rival promoter, it makes it a lot harder to get the fight.
Man, Top Rank been working with everybody for a long time, bro. Teo is. Where's the Teo call? Teo don't be calling this dude out. It's no, bro. This ain't even no debate. This guy ain't never wanted with no Devin Haney. If he wanted to, he had all the position. He's even on camera saying the whole fight was a setup. They knew what I was gonna do. I was gonna drop the belts. It was a setup for Haney to win. They knew I wasn't gonna fight him. I was gonna drop the belts and all of that other stuff. Come on, bro. This is public record. He's on camera saying this.
Yeah, well, you're going on what was said, and I'm going on what was done.
And what was done was the duck.
You want to fight a guy that's at the top of the division, you sign with the promoter. That's how you get the fight. That's how you get the Tank Davis fight. That's how I knew Stevenson was never going to fight Tank Davis. Unless he signed over there, he's not getting that fight. And that's the case with a lot. Now, sometimes they will work together. We've seen that. And it's only just since the Turk's been involved that we're seeing it more. Because prior to that, it was rare. Only if the payday was just absolutely huge would you see it. Now, he was also screaming Loma. Loma fights for Top Rank. When he went over there, he had 3 fights with Eddie Hearn. Then he went to Top Rank, and he got the Loma fight. He didn't get the Lopez fight, as we know. But he did get the Loma Jacob fight.
Hold on, Jared. Let me ask somebody. Damn, I hit the wrong button. I think that was Clips trying to beep in. My bad, Clips. Try to call back. Go ahead, Jerry. Say that last part again, and I'll bring Clips in.
I mean, I've already said it. I mean, I would agree. If you told me he's avoided Devin Haney, I would say yes, he has.
Hold on, let me ask.
Why I'm not.
Hey, Clips, mute your mic and the show in the background. I'm going to let Jerry finish his thought, and I'll merge you in, okay?
Gotcha. In a very, very...
Hold on, Jerry, you were still talking. I said, hold on 1 second. Say it again. Oh. Last thing I heard was if he was telling me he was avoiding Haney, I believe him.
Yeah, I wouldn't push back on that too hard. Lots of fighters have. Devin Haney, not an easy fighter to beat. Doesn't really represent a mega payday, and so fighters like that, they get avoided. But you know, they said the same thing about Loma, that he ducked Devin Haney, but I don't think that he did. And he wound up fighting him, and it was a very close and competitive fight. I thought Haney edged it, but you know, getting back to him and his racist remarks, nope, I don't condone it. Don't like it at all. He's a piece of shit. So is Ryan Garcia. These kind of guys are not good for boxing, in my estimation. They're just not. You know, Tyson, what he said about Lennox Lewis and stuff, yeah, that was a little inappropriate. But if you're a boxing fan and you know Tyson and you know how boxing is, you kind of know he really didn't mean that. He said it because they were getting ready to fight. It was a promotional kind of thing. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna eat nobody's kids. I mean, you know, that's he probably shouldn't have said it because it just doesn't sound that good. But like, if you know the game, you know that what that was promo talk.
All right, hold what you got. Go ahead, Clips.
Peace to the neighborhood. Peace, Mark. Peace, Jerry. Jerry, before I go in, let me just say you're good. God damn it, Mr. White Man, you're good. I like the way you did it. And I like the way you spend most of your time talking. You was able to effectively make it all about Devin Haney, But then at the beginning, middle, and end, you would always bring it back to, yeah, Tio's a racist piece of shit, and he shouldn't have said that. I love that. I'm telling you, you should run for political office. You are. What do you mean by that? You're a bad.
Clips coming in hot. Go ahead.
But yeah, man, hey, fuck this dude and 5 people with his last name, man, for real, man. I'm with Jerry though. You gotta understand him and the Ryan Garcias, you know, that's that quiet undertone that I often talk about that I had to deal with when I was on the West Coast. You get a lot of people of Spanish, mostly not Puerto Rican, Dominican, Caribbean Spanish, but when you talk about that Mexican, South American, and specifically Central American Spanish-speaking peoples, especially more centered, more. It's crazy with Tio because he's from Brooklyn allegedly, right, or wherever the fuck he claims to be. You know what I'm saying? But it's like most people that are from the West Coast and Southwest, you'll see a lot of that where, yeah, they love black culture, they whatever, but actually spend time around them and they, you know what I'm saying, get drunk and smoke a few blunts and, you know, find out how they really feel. And a lot of times I knew growing up out there, you know, sometimes they'd be worse than the white people out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, white boy just a good old boy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, he has his political and cultural views, but that's what it is. You know, naturally we're not going to bump heads on things. But you'll see these, you know, the cats like the Ryan Garcias, they go out their way to like do the little dog whistle talk and everything like that, almost like they're trying to signal to that silent majority, to that little fan base. You know, it's a lot of that Jack Johnson energy. You know what I'm saying? How Jack London. People don't forget the great American writer. Fuck that dude, Jack London, who wrote White Fang and all like that. He made his start as a sports writer. And he would deliberately, that's how he got famous, the way he would just very eloquently describe Jack Johnson and the Jack Johnson fights in ways that would incite riots and infuriate white Americans all throughout the 1900s. All boxing fans know that there was almost a 5 to 10 year period that every time Jack Johnson fight, the nation would be covered with race riots. Because people would lose their shit when Jack Johnson would win. Because, yeah, Jack London was writing things and saying, and like Jerry was saying, intentionally wording things in that little way. You know, like you was alluding to, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I'm just, you know, and no, we don't need that in the sport. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. You don't like niggas to make a point to go ahead and fight a whole bunch of black fighters and go beat their ass. And don't say shit. Just make that, you know what I'm saying? Just give that look to the camera. You feel what I'm saying? I'm with Jerry also that black fighters know, you know, you don't have to be like, oh, I ain't no white boy gonna beat me, because if you're really bad, you say, ain't nobody gonna beat me.
Hey, Cliff, you know, you told me that about a year ago, and I gotta be honest with you, man. Out of all the black folks that I've asked about that particular comment, you are one of maybe 5 guys that said, yeah, that was racist. He shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
because I talk about Devin.
Yeah, because it comes across as supremacist, right, Jerry? It comes across like my race is superior to you, I'm superior to you. Like, so I was like, even when you said if Loma would have said, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of wild, because they hear it in his voice in my head, you know?
Yeah,
it hurts. It hurts. I'm like, hey, why you say that?
Yeah, especially like, think about it. Well, you know, as much as I don't give a fuck, I do have a high level of empathy to where it's like, to the person of that race you're describing, even if you're not talking about you, like, let's say ain't no Chinese dude gonna beat me. You know, that Chinese dude here and that's like, nigga, I beat your ass. What the fuck you mean? Hold on, bro.
Right, Big Bang Jane.
You know, I get it.
Right, you might think you can be anyway, but you ain't about to say, you might say that a new way, but you ain't gonna say that a Big Bang Jane type shit. Right.
Yeah, type shit, yeah, well, that's 2 different races. One's Japanese and one's Chinese, Mongolian type shit. But I'm with you though. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Asian. I meant of Asian. I think. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you though. Like
Japan,
you saying, ain't
China.
no Asian gonna beat me. Yeah. Right? No, you just sitting there making a blanket statement like, ain't no Asian gonna beat me, and you know, hypothetically, you got Filipino 9-time Hall of Famer Nonito Donaire just sitting in the corner, but you ain't noticing him because you know what I'm saying. You just looking at. You know what I'm saying, his size and how he looks, and we all know Nito will knock your head off. What you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're almost poking the bear, and you're almost trying to.
No, Nino been looking like Bruno Mars lately. Like, motherfuckers will try him right now. He looking like Bruno Mars lately with the hats and the glasses and shit.
Hey, man,
motherfuckers be like, they be like, this Bruno Mars looking motherfucker. And then the nigga take the shit off and take the glasses. You're like, oh, my bad. You cool, you all right.
Yeah, then when you wake up and Bruno Mars standing over you, you like, yo, and then you just happy that it wasn't Bruno Mars to knock you out, because that would have been crazy had you went back to the hood. Now you could be like, yo, he was a Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah. What you expect? All right. But yeah,
right.
man,
My last point though, Jerry.
Go ahead.
My last point though, Jerry, I will shout out to you, Rollo Green. Rollo Green brought up something very good. Now, Jerry, how'd you feel when Larry Bird used to say that in basketball? You better not put that white boy on me. And you know Larry Bird was known for doing that. Larry Bird would even go over to the coach. That's the guy you got going me? Are you serious?
He get offended. He said
you're older than me, Jerry.
He's on camera saying he got offended when they put white players on him. Go ahead, Jerry. What do you think of that?
I never thought about that. That one's a tougher one, right? Because Larry's a white guy.
Yeah.
So that complicates that. I'm a big Larry Bird fan. He was
who isn't?
Fabulous.
Other than Reggie Owens, that's my boy. But who isn't? Like Larry Bird was good.
And Isaiah Thomas.
I'm just telling you what I am.
Nah, he respected him.
And he was a special player. His game was so well rounded. I mean, everything he could do it all. But I never heard him say that. But I know he was a big trash talker. They say I've heard guys talk about him, say he was a huge trash talker. But to be honest with you, I don't know how I feel about that because he's white. So I don't really know what to make of that. That's like when I hear black folks calling each other the N-word. When I came up, black folks didn't call each other the N-word unless they were about to fight. And I'm still not used to it, even though it's so prevalent in today's culture. And now what you're seeing, because it's become such a part of pop culture to say it, now you're getting all kinds of races saying it with no retribution. I don't know. Black folks may have themselves to blame for that, for using that word like that. So
we ain't going to do that, Jerry.
Well, I mean,
watch out,
it's not a word that
Jerry, I don't care. I don't care how many times.
That's just not human nature, though, Mark.
Bro.
When people hear it used like that every day in all sorts of contexts. I even heard these guys.
I've heard people of the same race call each other spics. Hey, look, trigger warning, because I'm about to say some bad words that might offend some people. Okay, just to let y'all know. I've heard women call other women bitch, but to lose their mind if a dude said, or if that same woman said in the wrong context. Context matters. I've heard gays call each other faggots. I've heard people call each other kites, spics, etc. Context matters, Jerry.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? And so don't.
That's why
so let's not contest. But it's never acceptable. But it's never acceptable for somebody else outside your group saying that to you, because there's no context where that should be acceptable.
That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing lots of people do it. And you mentioned Berlanga earlier when he did it, and he was calling it to a white guy. And this is a good example of what I'm talking about, how the culture of the word has changed dramatically from what it was when I was growing up. It's even used as a term of endearment. In most cases, what I hear it being used today, 90% of the time, it's not being said with a derogatory context necessary. It's just being used. It's just being said.
And to be fair, and to be fair, Jerry, there's a lot of people in the community that don't like being called that from black folks or white folks. They'll check you real quick. Don't call me that, bro. Respect, bro. It's all cool, but don't call me that. They'll check you. They'll check you real quick in conversations, real quick. Like, I don't even know. I don't say that in my house. I don't know. I don't want that normalized. Let's not do that. Go. And then we can continue.
And I've heard some black guys say, "Hey, I don't say that word." Yep. But I have to say, in today's culture, they're in the minority. From what I hear, I've even heard some of the entertainers say, "I'm not going to say that no more in my stand-up or this or that." You know, so yeah, I get that, and that's where I'm at. I don't like the word; it's an ugly word. When I grew up, if you said that word, especially as a white guy, you're probably getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah, be ready to fight.
And
I'll be ready to fight when you say it.
Now, Jerry, contextually, not to give you too much pushback or to get long-winded, but the history and the culture of the word, first of all, when it comes to that word as it's used in this country, amongst Black Americans, it was something that we just had to deal with and desensitize ourselves to. So amongst ourselves, we would sometimes even use the word, not just a negative word, just playing around. Like, I don't you say this, but now if Mark is doing something out of pocket, and whether I know him or not, as another Black man in America, I can look at him and be like, nigga, tone of voice and context. He knows what I just said.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? It became to where no, and let me finish. Now the problem with Black America, what you're saying, and with the N word is there is nothing more American than niggas, because they remember niggas weren't in Africa; they made us here. All right, and so white folks and other races and who taking part in this American experiment, they feel like they have some ownership and they want to be a part of our culture. Everybody wants to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga, to quote the late great Paul Mooney. And so y'all love our music, y'all love this, but and so what the late great Eric Wright did so intelligently was he said, okay, no matter what we call our group, if we rapping and looking like this, all they're gonna say is these little niggas with attitude. Fuck it, we gonna call ourselves niggas with attitude, and we gonna make y'all uncomfortable because niggas, you say that to my face, there might be an issue. I might not slap you every time you say it, but the fifth time you say it, I'm in the mood today. And that all comes from what started with your generation, the Black youth in the 60s and the 70s, and even in the late 50s, just trying to find our sense of identity and ownership of our identity. The Black is beautiful. No, don't call me Negro. Like a lot of people say, I'd rather be called nigga, which means ignorant person, than Negro, which means Black object, where you're taking away my humanity.
Now that there is what I wanted to ask you next. Now, I may already know the answer to this question, but I do want to get some clarity from a couple of brothers. Is it okay to refer to a Black person as Negro? Because before you say anything, Negro, as far as I know, that term is used in many Latin countries as to describe the word Black, right? It's what they call that color.
It means also, Black. It means Black in Spanish and Latin. And it's all Latin derivatives. It's Negro, something. And a lot of the civil rights activists back during the civil rights era, they referred to Black folks as Negroes. The American Negro. Once again, you're looking at time and context, Jerry. You're looking at time and context.
Jerry. Like even right now,
all
Jerry,
right, remember,
Jerry, unless I'm in Cuba or I'm in Mexico at the time, or I'm in Puerto Rico, you call me a Negro, that's like diet nigga.
So, okay.
So it's not gonna sit well with me.
It ain't gonna sit well with me.
Also,
I got a nickname.
when I was growing up, Black people were referred to as colored people. Colored people.
And that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah.
We were colored people.
Now,
we were.
But Jerry, but peep the irony of it though, Jerry. You've been white since you've been white. Look at all the wait. You get what I'm saying?
Look at all the adjectives because they're still trying to find a box that they can put us in. They're trying to find a box that they can define Blackness in that is palatable for them. So when Black Americans were coming out of the 70s and especially as poverty and crime, so things got more gruffer and harder, and so our culture became more unapologetic. And as we were still in that Black is beautiful phase, in a negative but positive sense, we said fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We said fuck it, but it's still one of those things where just because you listen to our music and just because you might be invited to the cookout, like you could be the white boy that's in the cookout. Like shit, I've been affiliated with different groups where, you'd be surprised that if there's a white boy in the room, but every now and then there's that white boy Rick dude who earns everyone's respect or whatever like that. And it's hit or miss. Because sometimes I'm like back when I was typing earlier, when back to the Caleb Plant Berlanga thing, you know, let's not act like we don't have niggas of all races. Because remember, all a nigga is an ignorant person. The original OG nigga was a white motherfucker, because it was y'all white ignorant motherfuckers who was too lazy and shiftless to pick your own damn cotton, till your own fucking land. Y'all wasn't doing that. We know when y'all grabbed the Ashanti and Igbo people and the people from the Benin, the Bantu tribes of Benin, okay, these were God-feared holy people. These were, you know, these were gods. Y'all the ones who stripped them of their language and their whatever, and told them to act and talk and behave this way, and only punished them if they behaved like they were supposed to behave, and rewarded them if they behaved like y'all niggas. And that's how I said there's nothing more American than a nigga. And so that's what burns, and that's what confuses a lot of white folks' psyche and a lot of non-black psyche, is because, yeah, y'all going through the niggerization process too. Like when you look at a hillbilly and you look at the sawdust on the floor, poor white folks that you get in Ohio, that you get in parts of Maryland. I know you know what I'm talking about, Jerry. When you look at them culturally, what would you call them? Niggas, but they white. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, then you look at these poor Spanish people, and that's why they try to relate to it. They try to be like, oh, well, we're the same.
Right.
But then when you try to call them on it, they want to say, oh, well, I'm not black. So if you're not black, then don't use the word nigga.
Pass it around. Pass it around.
Okay, so colored people, that's what, when I was coming up, black folks were referred to as colored people. Seems to me somewhere around the late 80s, that term was antiquated and no longer like appropriate or used much, and then it became black people. So I wonder if one is more offensive than the other.
Or African Americans. I know some people that don't like be called black because they understand what that means. That means,
well, when I hear that, I'm like, well, most black folks aren't black; they're brown.
Exactly.
Just like most white folks aren't really white; they're more pink, maybe.
Yeah,
you know
pink
what
people.
I mean?
You're right, pink people. That's exactly right. I got it. I knew this dude that used to call white people pink people. He had him on the show. But Jerry, understand this though. We're not talking about that. When is it cool to call black people monkeys though, Jerry? When is that cool? Because that's what he said.
Never.
That's what we on. Let's bring it back on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all in agreement about that. There's no excuses. Like the person put in the comment section, there's no excuse for that. That's just wrong. You know what I mean? Listen, I grew up. I'm a ginger, right? And I can tell you, man, if anyone knows discrimination, it's me, because gingers get it from everybody, every race. I got fucked with so much when I was in elementary and middle
Jerry,
school.
that's only because gingers have no soul.
Let him finish saying what he was gonna say.
Yeah, I know why it is, because blue eyes and red hair is recessive gene, and humans are so shallow, all of us, that's all it really takes. And Canelo Alvarez, one of the reasons why I've always been a fan of Canelo's is because I heard him in an interview say that's how he got started fighting. And now I was a redhead here in the States where there are redheads, right? There was a couple redheads in my class, and there was a few of us, but there was some. But imagine being in Mexico where everybody's hair is black. Their hair is jet black. You don't see no redheaded Mexicans, man. That's a super rare thing. So they probably fucked with him so bad, man. And according to him, that's what it was. He just got tired of being picked on, and so he just decided, I'm just going to whip everybody's fucking ass because of that. So, but as it refers to, like, discrimination, not so much racism, because that involves, your color, but discrimination, I got it from everybody. So I never grew up feeling racist because it was hard for me to make friends. I was getting fucked with for something that I had no control over by everybody, you know what I mean? So I know what that feels like, man, and I've never been behind it. And I grew up in an area probably 85% black, and my high school was that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man, a lot of those guys treated me poorly. You know what I mean? I've been jumped, spanked several times, almost just basically for being white. They used to just simply refer to me as that white boy. And the only other white kid in the project was my younger brother, and he ain't no kind of fighter, man. I used to have to fight for him all the time, and we were that white boy. That's what we was. You know what I mean?
That's why that Devin shit fuck with you so bad.
It all
comes together.
No,
man.
It doesn't fuck with me that bad.
Oh yeah,
just,
dude.
Again,
you bring it up every Devin Haney topic. You bring it up.
No, no, that's not true.
Yes,
I brought it up.
True.
Yes, and we've discussed it. No, it's not true. I've talked about Devin Haney in spite of his racist comments. I've talked good about Devin Haney. I've told you before I could be the guy's biggest fan, and I really don't hold it against him. It was very uncharacteristic to me that he said that. I felt that to be very uncharacteristic of him, but I don't see him say it 2 times. The difference is I'm going to call what he does racist, just like I'm going to do Lopez. You see, when I deem it to be racist, I'm not going to cherry pick who, it is that's doing it. If they're doing it, they're doing it. Even when Plant, now this really wasn't racist, but when Caleb Plant was shoveling that dirt on, what's his name, after he knocked him out, you heard me tell you, man, I did not like that. Now, some people had no problem with it. Me, I thought that was low class, big time. Now, he claims that, what's his name, Darrell said that he would never lose to a white man.
I remember that, Jay. I remember that, and I'll give you your flowers for that because you're like me. I'm one of them. I'm the same way. If I don't like it, I tell people all the time, if I don't like it, you won't see me do it. You won't see me support. Even if I fuck with you, you can be my man, 50 grand. If you're doing something that fucks with my principles and integrity, I'm gonna tell you, hey, I can't rock with that. And depending on your response, well, hey, I can't rock with you. And that's pretty much where I'm at. Like with the Garcias and the Teos of the world, it's like they keep doing this unsolicited fuck shit. Where you know what I'm saying, as somebody who grew up around every fucking race down to the ethnicity. Like I'm personally, I'll admit, I'm very sensitive to dog whistle talking. I always tell people I was fortunate. I had a very cool white man, military dude who was a football coach when we were real young. And he once got all the black and the brown kids together and he sat with us for about an hour and a half, no bullshit, explaining, dog, like, you got to understand, because he was trying to get our mind right for the season started because he knew we was going to be playing these white schools. You feel what I'm saying, Mark? And he knew all the shit that they was going to be saying to us. So he's trying to get us mentally prepared, like, listen, when they say shit like this, when they blah, 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 when the refs start saying like this, no, you better understand, just I'll handle it, don't say shit, because he's trying to egg you on, because if you say anything else, he's going to flag you, throw you out the game. He's letting us know, like, different things that people do when they're trying to egg, especially black and brown people on. And so when I see T.O. doing this, I think he might be right. I think he might be, this is who he is, Jerry, but I think that he is trying to goad one of these premier black fighters into a mega fight using the whole brown versus black, energy, because his bitch ass gonna get beat up by either Tank or Bud. And, he just wants to cash out so he can go buy more anal beads or whatever the fuck he's into. You know what I'm saying? I think you're right about that.
Also, regarding racism, I've been a Christian my whole life. Now, I don't beat anyone over the head with it, right? I'm not a Bible thumper. But the God that I worship says he created all men. So I don't want to get before God and he knows what's in your heart. You see what I mean? And so you can't lie to him. He's going to know if you had hateful racism. And also, racism is an act of hatred, right? And I can't live with hate. When I have things in my life that I hate, I eliminate them or avoid them. And after doing that over the years, I've never had to do that with people of any race. But just anything that takes up that type of energy for me is, I can't deal with it. It fucks with me too bad. And I can't deal with it in the face of God. I don't want to get up there and him tell me, look, man, you did pretty good, but you were a hateful racist. And you played that out during your life. And because of that, you ain't coming up in here. You know what I mean? So I treat people the way people treat me. You know what I mean? Like I said, I grew up a redhead. I had a hard time making good friends. And I have plenty of black friends too. So let's not get that part twisted. While a lot of
you have black friends in the projects.
Yeah, because, of course. And even some of the guys that I would fight with every summer, we was friends. We'd be playing football. We just get in a fight. So, young boys do that anyway. You know what I mean? So that, I know part of it was that, because I fought with my cousins all the time, But, you know, when you talk about white N-words that you were talking about earlier, a lot of times they're referred to as rednecks.
Yeah, redneck hillbilly.
Yeah. They think I'm a redneck. But what I know is just about the N-word. It's the same thing with the redneck. There's a misconstrued perception there. Rednecks are not bad people, man. And they're generally not racist. Now, I can't speak for ones in the deep South, you know, back in the 60s and stuff. Of course, there was different times back then. But generally today, I don't think most people are racist. Now, it's not to say there's not racist people. Of course, there is. And I have to tell you, in my personal experience, and I don't want to offend any group or race, but in my personal experience, the most racist people that I've ever been around were the Latins.
Yeah, black folks. Yeah, black.
No, hold on. I want to let them build on that. Tell me why, Jerry.
Well, I don't know why. Maybe because
why you feel that way? Now, I don't know. I'm not saying it's true. Tell me why you feel that way about them.
Well, since I've been in business for myself, and even the job that I had prior to going into business for myself 20 plus years ago, I've worked with a lot of Mexicans. I've employed a lot of Mexicans. Now, I'm saying Mexicans, but the truth is probably 60% of them were Mexicans. A lot of them were from El Salvador and different parts. You know, they were Latins from different parts. But just being around them and hear when they talk about black folks, they got plenty of slang terms that they use for black folks. And I don't know, the one guy told me, you know, he spoke pretty good English, that where he comes from, there are no black people. Like, their first introduction to black folks are American black folks. And what he said was they're aggressive, they're pushy, and this, that, and the other thing. Not nothing flattering, you know. But that was just the one guy. But out of all that time, probably 150 to 200 Latinos of different, you know, Latinos. Yeah, that's kind of what I heard. That's just my own personal opinion, and I'm not saying it's fact. It's what I see. I know a ton of white people. I got a huge white family, and I'm telling you honestly, man, with the exception of maybe a couple old, like maybe one of my aunts that's still alive, and even her, she's not really racist, but you would probably think so if you heard her sometimes talk about black folks. But the rest of them, they're not. Hell, I got several cousins that their kids, their partners, husbands and wives are black folks. You see that a lot. You can't hardly find a white family or a black family nowadays that doesn't have some interracial relationships in it, you know. In an overall sense, I think we're doing a lot better than we ever were. And see, that's another thing we talk about culture. Like when I was in high school,
damn, Jerry, this dude went from one. Okay, go ahead, Jerry.
Let me say this, man. Yeah. I'll pass the mic. Yeah. When I was in high school, whites had their own culture. We wore denim and leather and boots and shit, and we listened to rock and roll, smoked Marlboros and this and that. And the black folks smoked Newports. They wore patent leather shoes. NBA jackets were really, really popular at the time.
What year was this, Jerry?
They didn't share 87, 86 and 87. My point is white and black folks didn't really share the same culture, but that's changed, and it's changed a long time ago. Nowadays, you see lots of the white kids don't even really listen to rock. Now, some do, but a lot of them, they like rap. A lot of black folks like Metallica and, you know, Snoop Dogg, and, you know, you see that they kind of
a lot of black folks still like rap too. We didn't swap places. This won't change it.
Oh, I know that, Mark. Of course, I know that. But my point is,
they definitely stole the rock boy. They definitely swapped out the leathers and all of that. You definitely see more black rappers trying to look like rock stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wearing concert T-shirts. That's what we used to wear. Man, we used to wear concert T-shirts. You know, my point is though, the culture is among the youth, probably for a couple decades now, is increasingly more shared. That's a good thing, really. Right? It's a good thing. But Charlie Pride used to be the only black dude in country music, but he's not now. There's black guys in there making a real mark.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Thought
Just
black
use
folks
for an
invented country
example.
music. What you talking about? What you mean the only black one in country music? Black folks invented country music.
Oh, you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
come on,
about.
Joey. All country music is the white man's blues.
Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, it's Celtic derived.
Stole the
and,
songs, stole the
you know,
riffs, the chord progression. A lot of, come on, Jerry.
Yeah, country music is derived from Celtic music. That's where it comes from.
You said what music?
But it's Clips just put it the best. It's what you would call the white man's soul. My point about it is, if I gotta make it this clear, is that black folks never really were in the country nearly as much. But now you listen to a lot of country on the current radio, and there's rapping in it. I've seen these country stars performing with some of the high-end black guys that are the rap guys, and there's a shared culture. It's a good thing, man. That's a really good thing for us. But what sets us back is when an act of racism does happen anywhere in the country, because of the media that we live in, it's blown up so much. And it's not that it shouldn't be pointed out. It should, but it's blown up so much. And it seems like some news outlets have an agenda to make it even bigger than what it was. And that those type of things set us back. Because you're not going to get away from racism entirely, whether it's black folk, white folk, Latino, it's never going to go away entirely. Just like fucking with redheads is never going to go away entirely. You see what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
All right.
But I like the shared culture thing. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing, and the more of it we get, the better off we won't be.
Well, I just, for context, it's not really a flip-flop as far as cultures and style. What you see is that once black people create something and we have it and it gets about 20 to 25 years, white culture realizes it's marketable, then they start doing it. And once they get about 5 to 10 years into it, we'll move on to something else. And then we come back to it maybe about 15 or so years later.
Yeah, after they steal the new thing we made. Why they steal
exactly.
Why they stealing the new shit? We on to the next, bro.
Well,
right.
That's both ways. Because right now you're seeing a lot of young black artists wearing concert shirts.
Jerry, we don't approach
wearing rock concert T-shirts.
The things that we borrowed from white culture were things that we've had to assimilate to via, our experience here and the Western Hemisphere. However, we came here either in bondage or whether we just had our land stolen from us, and we're told that since our skin is dark, that we're black and we need to be on a plantation.
Or if you were traded here by your own people, because we're talking 15 million black folks traded around the world.
Here we go. That's day one,
man. Because
that's day one, bro.
Because you keep. No, you
Jerry, it wouldn't be nothing to trade. Jerry, hold up, but Jerry, it wouldn't be nothing to trade if that wasn't even a market created by who?
The people who were selling.
No. You gotta want to buy it. No, it has to be Jerry. It has to be something to sell. Jerry, you have to want to buy this.
We got diamonds. We don't have people. We're not selling our own people.
And
that's not what we did.
No.
The cheap trade commodity was their own decision.
And Jerry, the people that these Africans sold were once sold to the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British, the French, and then the Spanish. Were they indentured servants as they were sold as, or did they have was the slavery in Western Hemisphere unlike any slavery as commonly
Jerry,
known?
You couldn't even speak your own language in chattel slavery and worship your own God. You do know that's different, right? Like, because slavery been around since the beginning of time. Slavery been around, but even your slaves were allowed to worship their God. That's their God. Those are the people. That's their God. They had their language. These people beat the language, religion, and everything out of these people. But go ahead. You got it.
When those indentured servants, fancy word for slave, when they were loaded onto those foreign slave ships, Do you think that they got up to the top of the ramp and said, look, I'm an indentured servant, so keep that in mind, when they were being shackled and taken to the slave ship?
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, no, they could. No, Jerry, of
Jerry,
course
that's
they could.
funny.
But Jerry, hold on, Jerry, to your very point, okay? When that indentured servant named Benjamin Franklin got brought here, you know what? He was working and he was given his wage. Yeah, he was treated poorly, but after his 12 years of indentured servitude, he was given his freedom, given money, given land, and allowed to go live his life. That's why he was such an industrious person. After the white people that you lauded, they came over here as indentured servants too, but for the difference of the color of their skin.
Yeah,
their story didn't end in bondage and servitude to another man. Okay, when you talk about the Africans who were brought over here, not only were they denied those rights, those opportunities, they were even reduced to a lower level of chattel.
And you think that here is the only place that took place?
No, I'm just saying that when you look at your argument, the Africans sold Africans. No, if you want to talk like that, then no, what you're looking at is one more excuse, one more instance of European breach of contract. Because they bought it.
It's true.
Not chattel.
Here's the thing. If you want to think that all slaves around the world, and let's not exclude the Arab continent because they were the biggest slave traders. Most of the British bought their slaves from Arabs, not from African kings. That's where they got them, because they had long been trading slaves with the African kings. They had already been in slavery.
But once again, to Mark's point, the African slaves that were sold in the Arab part of the transatlantic slave trade, they were still able to retain their culture, their religion, their language. Hell, many of these African slaves
Hundreds of
went on to
years,
be
Jerry,
kings.
have went by, and these people still know their language and where they come from. That's the biggest crime. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Jerry. The biggest crime committed
I know
against.
what you're saying, Mark.
I didn't even
I'm
finish
not denying that.
I mean, but it seems like you are debating that that's an actual fact. Now, granted, that joke was funny. That shit was funny. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that was funny. Walking to the ramp, told the guy, "I'm an indentured servant, not a slave. Keep that in mind." Chains a little too tight, boss. A little too tight. You know what I'm saying? You're right. I get you on that. But what I think what's getting lost here is they put out a whole video of it. It was a group of people from Africa talking about how they did not know what we all know now. Like the mating farms, breeding farms, bro. Like, people think all black folks here just pick cotton. Some of these white folks didn't own enough land to pick cotton. You know what I do? I got a little bit of space right here, got another spot in the back. I don't got enough for a whole bunch of fields, but I got enough for a couple of shacks, and we're gonna have some mating farms here. We're gonna be making them. We make them over here, and we make them big with former Mandingos. We got a little spot in the back for the Mandingos to fight. Yes, bro. It was, that shit is
absolutely
absurd.
Deplorable.
Deplorably,
it's
insane, bro.
Demonic, yeah, you never gonna hear me support that,
farms,
bro.
chattel slavery is important because people always say slavery been around. Yeah, but the biggest crime did to us was we don't know our language, culture, and what part of the continent where we come from. All these other people that was in slavery, they got a lot of different languages. Now, some of them have been changed because over time and evaporate, but for the most part, they know. Man, I've been to Mexico. I've been to all these other, not all. I've been to a lot of other countries, and it's so amazing to me how so many people still have their culture and know things about, like, yo, we did this like 200-300 years ago. This is how we always did it. Like, wow. But I'm gonna try to get some more callers in, man. 'Cause I definitely want to get some more people on the phone, because it seems like the chat is getting heated, and I think people got some rebuttals to you guys. So and if not, we can go to another topic and I can land the plane. But I definitely want to let you guys finish y'all final thoughts on this, and see if we can get some fresh blood in the call.
Go ahead, Jerry.
No, go ahead.
I just real quick, Jerry. When you look at other instances of slavery throughout the world, yes, these people, even the crazy shit that the Mongols did and everything like that,
Kublai Khan followed the tradition of his grandfather Genghis Khan, where you know what, all religions are welcome, to where even if you was a slave in the Mongol Empire, you was allowed to keep your culture. Okay, so the great Roman rebellions of like even the gladiators. Spartacus and Garibaldi. Why? Because they remembered that they were Thracians, and they, as a matter of fact, they were so tied in still with their culture that once they was able to escape the ludus where the gladiators were held, they knew how to go back to the land of Thrace and grab their people to come raid Rome. You know what I'm saying? This was one thing, like, you know, that you've never seen slavery where the slaves are subhuman. We are breedable farm equipment as far as they thought. And there is a portion of white America and America in general that still view us that way. That is why, like I said, dog whistle talk, you know, that at subconscious you have this disqualifier. You want to talk about, I'm not trying to attack you personally, but I'm just saying that psychology. You know, that you want to talk about Devin when we say slavery, when Africans sold them. There's all these little backhanded disqualifiers where you're trying to, you know, they're trying to distract from the actual fact that, you know what, to no other group of people was this done, and to no other group of people has the atrocities and the acts against them been so just, we don't want to talk about it. Why is that? That's what I really want to know. We could probably have that conversation later, but why is that? I always wonder from non-black people, why is it so hard for you to just acknowledge black humanity and acknowledge what has happened to black people in America without the commas and semicolons and the buts and oh well? Why is that so hard?
Well, I'll tell you, what you're calling semicolons and distractions and things is what I just call the hard truth. Because when those trade ships landed on the coast of Africa, the African king should have said, we got gold, we got plenty of gold, we got diamonds, we got things that we can trade, but we're not going to trade our people. Now, they could have told that to the Portuguese, the French, the Europeans, the Arabs, everybody. That's not what happened, bro. And that's the 20,000-pound elephant in the room. What the whites here in the United States did, what some of them did, is demonic. And in my heart, I believe that God has a special place in hell for those people, because I would never, ever defend that. I'm the type of guy, if I catch a fucking moth in the house, I get a napkin and take it outside and let it go. I don't want to see anybody treated poorly, any living thing. So just like then, there was a lot of white people that weren't for that shit, even the British. Even though the mindset was different, how they were able to be so inhumane, I don't know. I couldn't treat a dog. I couldn't treat anything like that. So I don't know how, just from a human perspective, they could have been that way. I'm not defending that. So it's not a deflection. It's just there's truth. What you say there is true. It was demonic and ungodly. But there's also another
very cool. Real quickly, though, I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to get off you. I'm going to free up this line for you, Mark. Get back in the chat.
Can y'all hear that ringing? Hold on, Clips. Can y'all hear this ringing?
Hear the ringing, yeah.
Jerry, you hear it too?
Yeah.
All right, somebody in the chat, y'all let me know, do y'all hear that ringing in the chat? Because both callers here. Lisa Bells or anybody with a mod wrench in the chat. Let me know, do y'all hear the phone ringing? This test ring. I'm going to do it again. Okay. Test ring working. Let's hear it.
Yeah, we hear that.
Hold up. Okay. See if it works. See if we got a new line. Brand, you there? Can y'all on the chat hear Brandon? And can the other callers, can you?
Brandon, I hear you.
Clips, you hear him? Jerry, you hear him?
I didn't hear him, no.
Say something, Brand. What up, Jerry? Can you hear him?
I can hear him.
All right, so we all here. All right, cool. I just cracked the new code over here, man. Producing, baby. Producing. We just add a new line. We add a new line. That's a new line to the show when I need to add an extra line. All right, go ahead, Brand, talk to us. Fuck up.
Hey, Brandon, hold on. They can't hear
Hold
you.
on.
Brandon, they can't hear you. Hold on.
Okay, they said I ain't crack shit. They can't hear. Okay, I changed something real quick. Let me get it together now, because this motherfucker going there. Hold on. Let me change this.
Oh yeah, you was cooking, Brandon.
Hold
That's
on,
why
let me change this audio setting.
in.
Let me just change the audio setting. I just changed something. So I changed it from let's change that to output. Brandon need to be on the output right here. Change this to the output and change that to chat. Did it change it? All right, Brandon, say something now. Oh, let me change this right here. Chat. Say something now.
I hear Brandon. I can hear Brandon.
I know y'all can hear. I got y'all good. I'm trying to make sure the chat hear him. Say something else. Looking for the wave pattern to move. Maybe I need to switch that to chat. All right, let me get another testing. Do y'all hear any of this? They saying nope. I'm seeing nope. Fuck, I thought I did something there. That nigga Brim in the chat said, you ain't crack shit. All right, okay, so I can see my voice and I can hear your voice, but they can't hear you. All right, so let me do this. Brand, hang up and I'm gonna call you right back, and I'm gonna add you this way. All right.
I'm gonna clear this line for him. I'm gonna clear this line for him real quick.
No, I definitely want to try this real quick while I got him up here, and then you can hang up if you want to. I want to just stay there. Just let me see if I can get him up here this way. And y'all can still hear me, right? Jerry, Brand, y'all can still hear me? Nope. All right, let me see. So Jerry, Brand, Clips, y'all all there now?
I'm here.
I'm here. You sound better too, Brandon.
Okay, good.
Jerry, you there?
Yeah.
All right, so it's working now. Everybody in chat, can y'all hear all three? Did I crack the code this time? Gonna try one more time. I need Brandon to talk. I need Brandon to start talking. So just say something. Say more than testing. Okay, there we go. Lisa Bell said yes. Lisa Bell said yes.
Okay, they can hear me.
Cook, young man, cook. Let's go. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate your time, bro.
Indeed, man. This is one of my subjects, man. You know, I can't help myself, even if I want to, I can't fight the feeling. When this subject comes up, it just
Brand,
something.
you part of this shit, bro. It's all love, bro. You know that.
For sure. 100. I know that. But I want to say this. I find it ironic that Jerry. Well, I don't want to say Jerry. I can just because I don't want to be specific, but I am rebuttaling him. Could make the assertion that basically it's y'all fault. Y'all sold yourself into slavery. Irish people would never do that. I mean, y'all did that, which means that he's basically saying that y'all deserve what y'all got, or basically it's y'all own fault that y'all ended up in this position because y'all sold yourself to us for us to treat y'all like that. Now, when it comes to Tips was alluding to it, but when it comes to child slavery, there was nothing. That was the invention of the wicked devil here in Britain, and it was perfected by the wicked devil, his cousin, in here in the Western Hemisphere. So, in America, North America specifically, they strategically have manuals to teach you how to break a human being. They did not, during the slave trade, we think they just brought us here and that was it. They dropped us off on different islands depending on where they needed us. Jamaica, the reason why the Jamaicans are like they are, a lot of them ran into the hills. That was a slave breaking camp. That's where they sent most of the slaves. If they had a hard time breaking, they sent them there and they broke them there. That's why the Jamaicans are like they are. So when it comes to the Africans, didn't know we were here until the late 1800s. They didn't know where their people was. Clips alluded to it. The king of Portugal, the king of one of the African countries, I forget his name, wrote the king of Portugal and asked his men to stop coming, to stop raiding because his people, and stop taking his people. So We want to act as though we sold ourselves. We knew what we was getting into. That we knew that our descendants would be in bondage forever. That we would not know how to read. That we would not know how to speak. That we would not even be taught proper human behavior, which is they destroyed the light inside of us. The first thing you notice about what makes you human is your life, the way you comprehend, your intelligence. When people diminish that in you, which they strategically did and strategically do to this day, the thing about it is we don't recognize that these people have always been our enemies. Anytime we've had organizations to uplift us, they've infiltrated us. Anytime we've had people, just think about it, and I'm gonna get out of it. Just think about when Puffy started having problems with white people. When he sued the company that he felt beat him out of Ciroc bill. Now, look at what they want our celebrities to do. Look at what our celebrities feed us. They feed us liquor, party, a good time, and debauchery. And this is what I was taught a long time ago. When the white supremacists are through with their tools, they break them. Remember that. When they throw the tools that they use to distract you and white people break their tools when they finish. To me, all of this stuff is just all of this stuff, even listening to Jerry talk, is really disingenuous. He compared his compassion to finding an animal in his home that he don't want to kill and let it outside. Man, you compassionate. And then you talked about Christianity, which is anybody ever seen the book How to Convert a Slave to Christianity? These people always came to us hiding behind the guise of Christianity, but these have been some of the wickedest people that the earth has ever produced. So I don't want you to come up here and tell me how great and grand you are. I don't want you to tell me how you're ignorant to all of these functions of white supremacy when you participate and uphold them every day. And you pretend to be ignorant of these things. But I love to hear the little jokes y'all tell amongst yourselves. Matter of fact, tell us a black joke you heard recently. Outside of that, I'm gonna get up off of it. Sorry for soliloquy, Mark. It was just
No, you good. You good.
I know I probably was rambling, so I'm sorry.
No. You ain't gotta apologize. Hold on, Clips. I got it. I think it's important, and I think it's fair to let Jerry respond because you definitely said some things directly to him, and I think he deserves a response. I think that's fair. Go ahead, Jerry.
I mean, what can I say, man? I would never condone any of those acts, man. That's just straight from my heart. I don't understand how even then, you see, and it's hard for people to realize how the world was such a different place then, and people could be as inhumane and think it was like not inhumane. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine that I could imagine it then, even though that it was kind of a broad way of thinking. I can't imagine that. The reason I make reference to the moth in the house is because that's always been my spirit. I don't like to see any living creature get hurt like that. You know what I mean? Especially not those type of things which are demonic. They just are. Never would I defend that. As what he said about they didn't know where they were going, well, precisely. They knew they were going on a strange boat and they were being taken from their family. They knew that. And history has recorded that many of them would resist and the kings would order them admonished right there on the spot, sometimes beaten to death to be made an example of. So they may not have known what was in store for them, but they couldn't have assumed that it was going to be a good thing. There's no way that they could have assumed that. And the reality is a lot of black folks just don't like that simple truth that this took place from what I understand, an estimated 15 million slaves in that African slave trade. Nobody forced them to make those trades. They made those trades willingly. So imagine a world where
I got something I want to say. I got something I want to say real quick. I got something I want to say after you finish it, then I open it back up to y'all. But let him finish. He was very patient. He was very patient and quiet while y'all was talking. Let him go. Say it again, Jerry. I'm sorry because they cut you off.
I don't have much more to say, but because I've already said these things. But the thing is, imagine a world where when the trade ships landed there, they didn't trade their people, not to the Arabs, not to anybody. I found out about a year ago, well, I never really knew, even American Indians owned black slaves. A lot of people don't know that, but apparently it's true. Not nearly at the numbers that the Europeans did here in the States, but even those numbers were 10%, 10% or less nationwide. Most white people did not own slaves back then. You had to have a lot of money. And there was black slave owners. People thought differently back then. How? I don't know. At least some did. Because a lot of them didn't. A lot of them didn't feel that way. Well, lastly, a lot of white people didn't believe in slavery. And it came to a head in the Civil War, and the right thing was done. And I think we've been on the track to mending since then. You see what I mean? What happened prior to that?
Really?
Yeah, of course.
It's a long ass track.
Think black folks have it? Do you think black folks have it worse now than he did in the 60s or during Jim Crow laws or any time prior to that? Fuck no.
See, no. See, Brandon, I promise I'm gonna pass the mic back to y'all. My shit ain't gonna be as long as Jerry's. It's not gonna be as long as y'all because I'm the host, so I want to keep my shit short so I can give it back to the guests. Jerry, go ahead. Say that last part.
Well, I don't even remember.
Yeah. You triggered him. You triggered the. Never mind. I should have said that.
I don't condone slavery of any man or woman. And I certainly wouldn't have condoned what was happening then, but I've also know that a lot of white people didn't. Most white people didn't own slaves. Here in Maryland, the biggest plantation was black owned.
You're getting long-winded again. You're getting long-winded again. You said you didn't have nothing else.
Okay, well, I tend to do that like everybody else, but
everybody else. But look,
no.
I told you to wrap it up. You saying you had nothing, but if you got a little bit more, because I know you brought this story then back in Maryland. Like I don't want you. Matter of fact, I got my pen and pad ready. So go ahead, say what you about to say. 60 seconds or less, though, Jerry, so I can pass it around.
So in the end, especially for Brandon or anyone listening, just understand, I don't condone none of that shit. I wouldn't support, say one thing. To me, it's ungodly. I don't even really like to talk about it because they're horrific acts that I can't even imagine. It's like a horror movie to me. So I don't make no excuses or anything for the white people that behave that way. But also, this in turn indentured servant. If you want to assume that a bought and sold commodity, which the slaves were, that everybody but the white man treated them humanely, that's naive. It's naive to think that.
Okay, let me say this and I'll keep it brief. First of all, I want to give you kudos because I've heard you say something that it seems like most black people that, I ain't gonna say most. I hate when people say most because you don't know most black people. I don't know most black people. Some black people. The black people that I've encountered. I think that's more of a nicer way of putting that right there. So you said 15 million slaves. Congratulations, Jerry. I give you a gold star for that because here's the deal. I hear a lot of people on my show. We've had these debates, and if y'all been following the show, we've been here almost 4 years. Pittsburgh T, what up? Champion Heart, shout out to Major Key Boxing, and Modern King, everybody in here. All right, boom. They won't admit that some of them say slavery wasn't real. Slavery was a myth. All of us was already. I'm like, not all of us. Yeah, all of us was here. Some of us was here. No, all of us was here. So that's a whole nother conversation. It was like, man, you ain't gonna get all them people on the boats. I was like, bro, this shit lasts like 400 years, man. What you talking about? But that's a whole nother conversation. They'd be like, well, where the slave ships at? I was like, they have some in some museums, but for the most part, we stripped that shit down and used that wood to make other boats once that shit became illegal. When I say we, I mean Americans, people in industry and people in that. People don't look that up, but it's there. The artifacts are there from the survivors. I put that shit up on my YouTube community. It's about the I think it's dubois family and all of their shit that they did and how they switched from being the biggest slave owners in America to the biggest abolitionists in America. And it was blood on their hands. It was a girl, she put a documentary together. It's all on YouTube, and I'll put it on the community tab again just for the purposes of this show, and I'll share it with this. Let me put a bookmark here so I can time that. So here's the thing. Another thing you said, and I wrote it down, got my notes, and I'll keep it short with this. You said are black people here better than they are now in the 60s and the civil rights movement? Jerry, you skipped about 100 years. You get what I'm saying? Slaves were emancipated in what, 1864, 1863, somewhere around that time? And even then, the reason why we got Juneteenth, because they still kept slaves. The reason why we have the Civil Rights Act of the 60s is because we're saying, hey, let's just be civil. I just want to go vote without y'all sicking pit bulls and German shepherds and water hoses on me. Can my kids go to school? Why do we have two separate water fountains, whites only, blacks only, and our water fountain is always broke, so we don't get no water? Or if we go there, somebody don't shit and piss and did whatever they wanted to it. They get the new water fountain. We got the old. That's Plessy versus Ferguson, bro. Separate but equal. But separate but equal due to Brown versus Board of Education, we realized separate can't be equal. Because they're not getting the same books. They don't get to go. They got to walk 2 and 3 miles to go to school in the morning. So, Jerry, I just think that's a flawed fundamental argument that I hear most people saying, are black folks better now than it was in the 60s? Like, nigga, my mom was around in the 60s. That's not that long ago. My mama was born in 56. So when I hear, and my dad was born in 48. Old school pimping. He was old school pimping, came out of Vietnam, saw a little big booty girl. That's what it was. But hey, look, but I'm here nonetheless. But I say that to say this, brother. I just think that's such a weak argument to say, y'all better than y'all were when y'all was in the 60s and the 70s. Nigga, that's our mamas. That's our grandmamas. That's not that long ago. But slaves been, quote unquote, free since the 1800s. It's almost like, hey, look, we're gonna race to the finish line. We're gonna do a 100-yard dash. I'm gonna start at this end zone. Jerry, you start at the middle of the field. Go. And when I get there and you get there before me, by the time I get there, you drinking some Gatorade and you like, shit, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, son. No, it's just.
Well,
I ain't talking.
You're making an argument there. I didn't say that to make an argument of it.
No. I gave you credit for the good part, but
question.
No. But my whole point was, you said yes, we're on the right track since slaves were free. That track you talked about, Jerry, was 100 years, just for the Civil Rights Act.
Denied that.
Jerry, 100 years, but it was 400 years of slavery before that. So so we get a 400-year head start, and then from there you get another 100-year head start, and even there in the 60s, guess what happened? You got your civil rights, but we killed all your leaders. And then in the 70s, we changed the laws and brought politics in with the Powell memo and made it legal to bribe all your politicians. Bro, this shit is deep. But let's pass it around though, Jerry, because you spoke, I spoke. Let's go to Brand, and then we'll go to clips, and we'll go to. Matter of fact, Jerry, do you want to respond to me in brief? Because you're the only white guy on the panel, and I want to be fair to you.
I mean, a lot of what you're saying to me is coming off as, like, with all due respect, a little sensationalism, because what you're saying is true.
I thought it was facts.
Well known, and I've never denied. What you're saying is true, and it's well known, and I've never denied it. That wasn't what I said. What I said was, black folks are better off now than they were then. And if
why are you comparing that though? You're comparing shit. Okay, why won't compare black folks? No, Jerry. How about we do this? We need to stop doing that because it's disingenuous. Let's compare black folks now to white folks in the 60s. Are we doing better?
Black folks now as opposed to the 60s?
Black folks now as opposed to white people in the 60s. Are black people now doing better than white people were in the 60s?
No.
Okay, so that's
those houses that they was allowed to buy in the 60s now are worth millions of dollars. Those same houses that they denied black people in the 60s are worth, like that house in California that was worth $40,000 that somebody's grandfather bought is worth $4 million.
Navy Federal just got sued and just settled because they were discriminating against black people in loans. So it's the same.
Clips. Brandon just started. Brandon just started. No, I want you to go. No. I'm hosting, and I wanted to flow a certain way. Jerry went. I replied. Jerry got to reply to me. I want you to go. I want Jerry to reply, and then Clips can go. Jerry can reply.
Okay.
Y'all got to trust me. Go ahead.
My thing is, we let them always say, well, ain't y'all doing better than y'all was in the city? You comparing us to the worst state we could ever be in to now. Of course you could see progress, but don't compare us to the worst. Compare us to what you say the best is. And if the best, or compare us to the dominant society. And let's see how we stack up there. That shows how we really, if we really competing, if we really are we really moving in the right direction, as though Jerry says. But when we see our athletes get mistreated, or when we have to have a different set of rules for when we interact with the police, because I know you don't tell your son, Jerry, and your children, hey, when you get around the police, you don't give them special instructions about how they look different from the most of the society and how they got to conduct themselves and how there's special certain rules and how we got to be. You don't get that. So, that's why that's all I want. The point that I want to make: stop letting them always use that trick bag. Ain't better off, or ain't we making progress? Compared to what? My thing is compare us to the best, and then you will what the so-called best is, and then you will see progress. Go ahead, Clips.
No. I got it.
Oh, my bad.
Jerry responded that, then we'll go to Clips, and then Jerry can respond again because he's addressing.
Well, American blacks until after the civil rights movement never had a chance to be their best. So how do you compare? And let me finish. How do you compare it to the best when they never had a chance? We know what happened, so there was never a chance for it to compare to something better for American blacks. That's one. Number two, here's a little hard fact reality pill. Europeans conquered and colonized this country, and they still make up for roughly 2/3 of it. So back then, when slavery was thought among many people to be not inhumane, which again, I don't know how they did that, but I didn't live back then. However, that's how it's going to go as far as who's going to have the head start. Europeans conquered and colonized this country, whether you like it or you don't like it. That's what happened. It's always been the way of the world. Even to this day, Russia is trying to conquer Ukraine. Same thing in Israel. That's how it is. Europeans didn't invent that. African tribes fought amongst themselves. American Indians were constantly involved in tribal war against themselves. That's just how it was, and that's still how it is. So you can't expect that any race that would come here after the Europeans established it are going to have it the same way the Europeans had it. And then when you add slavery, now you're putting a particular race even not just behind the 8 ball, but way down where they weren't allowed to educate. They weren't allowed to own homes and things like this. Crazy shit, right? So when I say, is it better now than then? This is why people don't like that question, because they know for sure that it is, but they're not going to admit that. It's going to be more going back and sensationalizing the horrible things that happened then, instead of answering the question with the reality of, yes, it's better. Things got righted, and things aren't perfect, far from it, but they're going in a much better direction.
I got it. Let him finish, bro. It's 3-on-1. You got to give him. He needs more time, bro. Let's be fair. Y'all got to trust me to host this shit, bro. Y'all got to trust me, bro.
Thank you, Mark.
We can't even have these conversations without both of y'all. All three of y'all trusting me. Let's just do right by everybody. Let him say what he say.
When I watch a movie that has like a Django or something like that, and I see that hot box, I get infuriated just like black folks do. When I see something like that, I know that was done against black folks, but to me, I just see it from a humanitarian standpoint. I wouldn't care what color that person was. It's infuriating to me. So I get it, you know. My ancestors did a lot of demonic shit, and you'll never hear me ever say anything in defense of it. So let's not try to manipulate what I'm saying that I know to be factual as manipulating it into something else. This is why you don't get white people talking about this too much.
Right.
Because if we do, we're slammed for being racist. Whether what we're saying is true or not, it's not going to be perceived that way. Brandon is particularly guilty of that. No matter what I say, he's going to find, just like with the moth, he tried to use that against me. saying that I was putting black people on level with like an insect. And you know I damn well wasn't meaning it that way, but that's how he hears it.
Fair enough. Let's table it there. Go ahead, Clips.
Jerry, no one's attacking you. We're just saying that what you're calling hard truth is actually more dogma and propaganda that actually supports white supremacy. First of all, Brandon, for your question, or black people, you don't want to go measure to the best time in black American history was the 5 to 15 years right after the Civil War. You never seen that many black businesses. There was close to 200-something black United States congressmen, and as well like 30-something senators. It was black people were thriving. There was also Winston-Salem, North Carolina, that was just popping. So much so that we saw a white insurrection that we never saw the likes of until January 6th, where they took over the capital of North Carolina because they were so mad at the black folks who were doing nothing illegal. They were actually using their rights. And remember, they had 2 civil rights, because we already had our civil rights after the Civil War. But after 15 years of black excellence, where, you know what I'm saying, what did y'all do? Jim Crow. So I don't want to hear that it's better. Okay, that is a misnomer, whether you understand that or not. And I'm not attacking you, Jerry. Listen to my words. Whether you understand it or not, the information that you just said is actually based off of white supremacist talking points. It is not true. Black people are not better. You can't even make that qualitative statement because, remember, many of the, you think that you snatched us out of huts when, you know what I'm saying, we had Timbuktu and Mali and Benin. Some of these black people were living great and peaceful lives that would have just been fine if they would have just stayed away from the damn shoreline. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the Black Kings, okay, let me just end with this. Jerry, we've had this conversation too many times. You're too intelligent of a man. I actually like you, Jerry. Okay? Most African kings resisted not only white trade, white slavery, white involvement. So much so that if you know your history, when Alexander came into Egypt, there was an African queen, yes, a woman, who marched her army to the first cataract of the Nile, which is at the borders of northern Ethiopia. And Alexander said, I've never lost a battle. I will not lose to a woman. And that's when he marched and made a deal with the priest of Amen, chilled in Egypt for a while, then got back to chasing Darius. Okay? Many of these Africans, there was a long tradition. There was the Ethiopian queen called the Kandake, or wherever you get the word Candace. You know what I'm saying? The English way of saying Kandake. You know what I'm saying? The Kandake, there were 7 different queens that resisted. Arab, Jewish, all sorts of different foreign invasion into Africa because, no, you're not enslaving our people. And all these great kings of West and Northern Africa who were holding that line around the Sahara, around the edges of the Sahara Desert, eventually got killed and supplanted by some goofy-ass nigga that the white people propped up, and then slavery was allowed. So to make that blanket statement is disingenuous to the historical fact. And remember, I also explained to you what Biafras were. It was through the Christian, Jewish, and Muslim expansion where they were converting people by the sword. Many of these sub-Saharan African nations found themselves inundated with millions and millions upon refugees because what you seem to forget, what you now call the Middle East, well, up until the of 16 and 1500s was called Northeast Africa. Many of these African tribes actually don't even come from sub-Saharan Africa. They were now what you now call the Middle East, and they got chased there. So now you have these kingdoms that had XYZ years of all these refugees. These kings are fighting for their people, and now this king got killed, and this European sympathizer gets put on the thing. And so the first thing he does is he says, yeah, well, we got refugees. Fuck, I need to sell these people. Knowing good and damn well if he doesn't sell these people, the very foreign invaders who put him on the throne will just take his ass off the throne and put someone else who will sell these damn refugees. Some of these people who were brought to America not necessarily by the color of their skin, but because of their bloodline. They were specifically hunted down and targeted to be displaced. That's why it was very important to strip many and eventually all African slaves of knowledge of self, because many of the slaves brought here were from these ancient bloodlines that the Jewish, Christian, and Islamic elite who are currently not black, and at that time were not black, knew that if these people who had the blood right to these claims was to ever rise up and just say something, that their whole world would shatter. If you don't believe me, study Emperor Haile Selassie and why even the Queen of England went over there and bowed before that black man. That's what slavery was about. To say they sold their own is so disingenuous. This was a very methodic, systematic thing that was going on, and it wasn't about just some greedy nigga who didn't have love for his own brothers.
All right, let's pass it back to Jerry.
I'm
Let him get his bars off. Go ahead, Jerry.
Briefly, I'm not going to deny what my ancestors did here with chattel slavery, and I'm also not going to deny the African slave trade. It's well recorded. What he's talking about, sure, some of that took place, some piracy took place. The piracy was generally frowned upon and very dangerous. Hard to land a ship on a continent with 12 crewmen and go into a jungle where you're unfamiliar and round up people. That happened, but it was frowned upon, especially amongst the merchants that did regular business, because the piracy fucked the business end of it up. But like I say, I'm not going to deny either. I'm not going to deny the sins of the white man, and I'm not going to deny the African slave trade because it's well recorded.
Go ahead, Brian.
See, that's my thing. He keeps going back. It's not the African slave trade. That's the name.
It's not any better for you. It's because some people are touching
transatlantic.
Let's just call it the transatlantic slave trade, which involves, which we can say
America,
United States America. African, Arabs, and white people. We can say that, right? Now, okay. When it comes to what your role is, that was what the Nuremberg trials were about. What you're doing is using the same thing that Nazi Germany did. When they brought them on trial, they said, well, why? Didn't you know what you was doing when y'all was telling them people were wrong? They said, yeah, we know, but we were just following orders. That's the status quo today. So somebody could tell you that you should feel this way and you shouldn't have no compassion on nothing, and this is the status quo. That's what I'm talking about. These are disingenuous conversations where they like, yeah, we did bad, but what did your bad entail? Okay, the Africans had their role to play, the Arabs had their role to play. Fine. But did the Arabs get whole new civilizations built on the back of their slaves, like the people in the Western Hemisphere did? Cuba, built on the back of the slaves. Brazil, built on the back of the slaves. The Caribbean, built on the back of the slaves. The greatest country in the world right now was built on the backs of slaves for 400 years. Who cleared the forest? I know y'all like to talk about Davy Crockett and how y'all explored this. Who cleared that shit? We did. Who plowed it? We did. Who built these dams and shit? Who did all the labor? Who cleared from the east all the way to the frontier Midwest, all the way to the west? Who was working on the railroad? Oh, they like to say the Chinamen built the railroad, but in return the Pilgrim killed it. Okay, that's a nonsense. But anyway, who built this shit? We was involved in the fundamental building in this country every step of the way. And we still get treated like we wasn't here. People come over and disrespect us daily. This shit could be over overnight. The reason why I know this could be over overnight, because look at the Germans. Look at what they did after Nazi. It's called a German, I forget the name of it. But anything they do, you cannot have a Nazi flag. You say anything racist, you go to jail. You do these things. They can implement this shit overnight. They don't want to. Because you got to remember, for capitalism and white supremacy to survive, you have to have poor people and the darker people of the earth. That way you can differentiate who they are from white people so you can mistreat them. That's why. So this shit has to thrive. That's all I say. I got to break to work. So
I want to say this to Jerry. Man, no, go ahead, Brian. I want to say this to Jerry.
I just want to say thank you, man. I really appreciate this subject. You know, this is one of my passions. So I don't think
I didn't even get your take on Tio.
I ain't seen that yet.
Oh, let me play it. I got it queued up. Let me play it.
Go ahead, play it.
We kept the files. But I do got to reply to Jerry, but don't hang up, man. Like,
no, respond to Jerry.
I want to say something. I wrote my note.
I got 5 minutes.
Oh, well, this clip is real short. because he tried to clean it up. But I wrote my notes over here. I got a question for my good brother Jerry, and I've heard it so much, especially if you guys go look at if y'all go to my YouTube short, just type in Martin Nash Louis Farrakhan, or go to my channel and see the most viewed video I got on my channel. It's a video I did about Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, right? And the way he describes corruption, right? He says what he's saying, and he's 1,000% right. But the comments, matter of fact, type in Martin Nash Malcolm X and go to the short I got on Malcolm X. Just read the comments, full of racist shit. You know what I mean? And they were like, well, your people sold your own people. Your people sold. It was like, that's Jerry, that's the go-to for white America. And you my man 50 grand, but, well, not 50 grand, but you my man though. You cool.
Because it's an important thing.
But Jerry, but on the flip side of that same coin, Jerry, like when I was talking about the market, right? And we kind of laughed that off, and with indenture service. But understand this: whites want to say they don't want to be blamed, like modern white folks, right? I don't want to be blamed for my ancestors being slave owners. But in the same breath, they will say, your people sold you though, so it was okay. Because Jerry, understand this, that wouldn't work right now in modern times, because if you go to your local corner store, Jerry, and there's somebody out there selling a baby, it's a black person out there selling a baby. I got a baby for you. You know that's not right. You wouldn't. Would you blame? Would you be like, well, would you buy the baby and be like, well, shit, it was for sale. Blame the mama. The mind is the same mind, Jerry. The brain is the brain. You know that's not right. It was normalized. It was okay. It's just a little nigga. It's okay. Yeah, I bought us a nigga, baby. You get what I'm saying? So let's not do that, because the mind is the mind. You know it's wrong, but it's okay because you, just based off how you look and the way your pigmentation is, the way you're born, you're in a position of power. But that wouldn't work, Jerry. That's not cool. I'm not
doing that. That's not what I'm doing.
No, Jerry. That's a $1,000,000,000%. Jerry. No, Jerry. You did it already, and you always do it, and it's okay. It's okay. No, I'm not twisting it.
A metaphor that
no, sir.
Sure, you are.
Sir. Here's the thing: right is right, and wrong is wrong. It don't matter if it was 100 years ago or 500 years ago. Wrong is wrong.
One thing can be wrong.
It's just what was normal. No, Jerry. Jerry, but you said it though. You bring it up. You was like, well, how about the people that sold them? I was like, they sold them because it's a market to sell. Right now, it's not a market to sell a 12-year-old black girl at the corner store. But you could sell a 12-year-old black girl. You get what I'm saying? So you from there, exactly, Jerry. So it's not right then. It's not right now. And depending on what kind of white person you was, you could not come home to your woman and be like, bought us a little nigger girl. What the hell you about to do with that? That about to be your little plaything? That's about to be your little plaything? I bought us a little nigger boy. What you want to do with the nigger boy?
I say that's wrong, and selling a slave is wrong, and owning a slave is wrong. Two things can be wrong at the same time. You see? Two things can be wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. I'm just pointing out the historical fact of what took place. Y'all don't want to hear it.
No, Jerry. No. The truth does hurt, and I think the truth hurts you more because it's hard for sometimes white people to internalize and realize my family were monsters. They were evil people. That hurts,
not for
bro.
Me because I already said that.
Well,
right?
Well, you say that, but in the next breath, like I said, in the next breath, Jerry, you will reply with where the people sold the people that sold y'all. Jerry, I'm not buying no babies. I'm not buying no slaves. It's wrong.
It's a 2024. The world was a different place back then.
Jerry, you just brought up 1960. Jerry, you just brought up 1960. 1960 won't that long. My mama was born in 56. That's not that long ago.
My dad was
I
born in
brought up
48.
1960 in reference to the Civil Rights Act, not to
No.
owning and
You brought up
selling slaves.
1960 in reference to are black people in a better place than they were in the 60s. That's what you said, and it's recorded. It's a live stream.
Yeah, that's exactly. But
Facts.
you're talking about slave selling and ownership.
No, but
That
you just
happened
moved the
long
goalposts
before
again.
1960.
Now you're trying to play judo, but I do this.
No,
Bro, I do
we're gonna
Hapkido
have
in
to
real
be
life,
specific.
bro. This is just verbal
We're going to
Hapkido.
be specific because you're making an equation that is such an obvious equation that doesn't really apply.
No,
I've never
Jerry,
sold a slave.
Jerry,
I
the
bought a
mind
slave.
of
Back
a
then, it was
24.
commonplace.
But Jerry, that's because the way our minds are set. Because you are in 2024, your mind can't capture or factor the thought of going to the fucking market and like, okay, we got grapes, watermelons, lemons, and niggers. What am I gonna buy today?
Yeah, people
You can't fathom that in your mind,
are evolving.
Jerry. But you can't fathom that in your mind, or you absolve it. But the problem is that's what it was. So for you to say, well, your people sold you. Well, Jerry, you could have went to the store and bought your lemons, watermelons, and your cantaloupes, and no niggers that day. Your people did. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah,
Just because it's a market for something doesn't mean you have to buy it, Jerry.
Right, and both acts are wrong. Like
but who controls the market?
He's doing wrong.
That's what I'm
the
telling
junkie
you.
that's buying the meth is also doing wrong.
No.
Yeah.
No, but you can't buy it if they don't sell it. You can't buy it if they don't sell it, Jerry. Somebody got to make it. Let's pass the mic though. I'm wrong. I'm wrong for chopping you off as much, but Jerry, sorry, brother. Like it's like at certain points
you need to apologize, but we ain't gonna agree on it either.
Yeah, because Jerry, people can't sell nothing if ain't nobody buying it.
Yeah, but still, they're both wrong. It's wrong to sell somebody as a property.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're not talking at this point, Jerry. The way we was brought up, we're not talking about the seller or the buyer. The person is the product. That's me, my family, my ancestors. We're the product, and we're saying that's fucked up. What happened to us? And you blurred out things like, "Well, how do you feel about the people that sold you?" Makes us like, God damn, why would you even say that? We ain't got no control of the people that selling us or the people that buying us. We're the product, and we're saying what happened to us is wrong. And they's like, well, don't blame the buyer, blame the seller. No, both of them wrong. But motherfucker, you did what you did. You bought us. You could have said, nah, we ain't buying this shit.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's not what you're saying.
That's exactly it is. And I've said it 3 times in the last 60 seconds.
Fair enough.
But you're talking loud over me. They're both wrong. And there's a lot of wrong that needs to be placed on the seller. Because if those kings would have said, we're not selling our people, then what? They had the option to do that. In most cases, they could have said, no, we're going to got other things to trade, but we're not going to trade our people.
Some people did, and guess what they did when they didn't sell them, Jerry? You know what they did? They invaded the village and killed the kings too, and kidnapped them.
It was more of a class thing than anything, because the black kings, the people that the black kings traded were just as black as they were.
Jerry, it got to a point when they was like, well, shit, niggas ain't got no more gold, no more diamonds. Or they don't got them to sign some shit saying we own it. Or we just take the king. We just take you to
Jerry,
bring you over for a visit.
Jerry,
and you just never come home.
Jerry, do you know how many legends and classic European legends and tales were about African kings and queens who refused to acquiesce to the transatlantic slave trade? And so either the Arabs or the Europeans would steal their children. And that's why you have a lot of, like, my ancestors, Black Moors, who were in France and Italy because we were princes and kings who were kidnapped and held hostage by the Vatican or by this Roman Sultan and all like that, where this king has to know that all 3 of his children are living in Italy. And, yeah, they're safe. But the minute we get a letter that's saying you ain't letting our slave letting our traders trade slaves, gold, and ivory and shit like that, guess what? Remember, we got your kids. They use that same tactic in America. Like Brandon was trying to tell you.
I'm sorry, Clips. I ain't riding with that. I don't think every black person here came from kings and all that. I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
Not everyone, no, but that's how they control the kings. That's how they control kings. If they didn't just kill them and supplant them, they would think that's it.
I can tell a lot of these motherfuckers were good workers, how they moving in. And you was a good worker, homie. You follow good instructions because
You acquiesce.
Well, I got a
depending-
related topic.
Nah, we still on the
if
same
you wanna
topic. We
indulge.
still here. Let Brandon reply real quick. Go ahead,
Okay.
Brandon.
No. Like
Go ahead,
like,
Brandon.
do
Hold
you
on.
even know
Brandon
the
still.
story?
Let Brandon say his spot. Go ahead, Brandon.
Sure.
No, I didn't have much. I'm just listening now. I'm in and out, so I'm just hanging out right now. Mark, let Jerry, look like Jerry and Clips got. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I'm just saying, Jerry, do you understand where the language of Swahili, how it became? Because the Arabs could not sell, the Arabs, when they landed in Zanzibar, Tanzania, those kings were, trading with them. But when they got to this king in Kenya, this king was like, man, fuck y'all, get the fuck out of here. So what they did, they kidnapped that king and put a Tanzanian king in place, and they made him a slave. That king, but in Arab culture, you know what I'm saying, because it was indentured servitude, once he was a slave for so long and he converted to Islam, and under Islam, you know what I'm saying, now he's a brother Muslim. So after a few years as being now a Muslim and an indentured servant, you know what I'm saying, the Sultan felt wrong for keeping him, so he let him go back to Kenya. And on that African king's journey from Saudi Arabia back to Kenya, he was trying to convert as many Africans as he could to Islam, because it was like, if we're already Muslims, they won't enslave you. And so they came up with they started having this bastardized language of the indigenous African language in Arabic, which is now Swahili. And that is the unique history of certain parts of Kenya and all like that. There's also several stories of West African kings. And then, like I said, about the Kandakes and the people of Eritrea, the Kandakes of Ethiopia and Eritrea. And in America, Jamaica was where they did all the buck busting. If you was a rebellious slave, you got sent to Jamaica. In Americas, and the Caribbean. In the Americas, it was mostly Mississippi and deep Alabama. You know what I'm saying? That's why you even hear that in Louisville. We'll send you to Mississippi and everyone gets scared, because those were those were all the buck breaking plantations. And so what they would do is, hey, you keep on cutting up, boy, I'm going to take your son and I'm going to send him to Mississippi. Or they would have your son and daughter on someone else's plantation 2 counties over, to where you get to acting bad. I'm going to send him a letter to do this to your blah, 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 do this to whatever. That is how they control many of the African as well as Native Americans within the Americas with that same tactic. So with a blanket statement that they sold their own is disingenuous, because you don't understand the method and the political intrigue of why that was. They did this to their own too. Mind you, what I'm saying to you should not be a shock, because if you know anything about European history, that's how a lot of the European royalty kept each other in check. They were all cousins, so they would fake something, oh yeah, come over here for a dinner party, and all of a sudden now the bitch can't leave, and they send a letter to the king, yeah, your niece, yeah, she's over here, she's cool, as long as you do this, you do that, whatever, we'll tell everybody that she's gonna marry my cousin and it looks good, but yeah, nigga, you better sign this treaty. That's an old play. You're smart enough to know that. So that blanket statement is disingenuous. I love the way Mark said it. We're telling you about family trauma, and you're saying like blanket statements are disingenuous. I know you don't mean it. No one's attacking you personally, but we're trying to say to you is that even that in itself shows the white supremacy, shows the white privilege, how you are, even though you grew up around black people, you grew up poor, you grew up all this, you are still in so many ways so unaffected by it, because what we are talking about are things that if you are not a melanated person, I understand it's very hard to empathize, and I'm not trying to say this to be critical of you. I'm saying this to truly have a human moment with you, Jerry. This is something that, this is something that we're trying to express to you. I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm trying to express to you that some of those statements are just inaccurate.
Let him reply. Go ahead. Then we can move on.
Yeah,
man.
well, I disagree from a fundamental level. I'm not saying what you're saying, where there weren't cases where some tribes refused to do that. I know all about that. I know about what you're talking about with the migration into the Arab, and I understand those things, but it doesn't make the other part not have any truth at all. So while you're saying I'm making a blanket statement, it sounds to me like you're trying to make a reverse blanket statement and say that that's exactly what it was, when that was not the majority of it. And I don't really want to debate that much more, because I don't think we're going to agree on that. What I say and what I feel in my heart is wrong. It's both wrong. They're equal wrongs to me. You see what I mean? And I'll quickly make a reference to the drug dealer again. The drug dealer selling heroin on the corner, yeah, he's selling it because the junkies want it. But that guy is probably responsible for more lives. Mothers neglecting their babies, babies starving to death, junkies over ODing, and to put a little money in his pocket, right?
No, Jerry, don't use a drug dealer. Use a person selling a person, because that's what it was. Because the drugs that aren't a living, breathing things that you got to feed. Use that same reference with a person. Because I think, because a lot of people,
how can I make an equivalency?
Because a lot of people will buy some drugs or some cigarettes or a beer or some candy from the corner store. Would you go to the corner store and buy a person?
Why would you ask me such a question?
Because I hate, because you brought it to an inanimate object. That's a terrible example.
Because we're talking about a time of slavery when the world
and it was wrong. Yeah, now you with me? Go ahead.
So when you say, would I buy a baby? I mean, it's just a ridiculous question to ask.
Right, because back then buying a person was like buying a cow, a donkey, or like you said, some drugs or a pack of cigarettes.
Early on in this conversation, that I don't know how anybody was so attached to humanity that they could view another human as less than human. I don't know how
I got you right here, Jerry. I got you right here. Because it goes back to Teofimo Lopez saying things like this. Let's play it.
Two fights interest you more.
Dogs. I don't know, motherfucker. Man, him no got nothing called
dehumanize the person.
Which one of those two fights interest you more? Gervonta Davis
you
or
take the humanity away.
Whichever monkey wants to get the
everybody.
Which one of those two fights interests you more? Gervonta Davis or Terence Crawford?
Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You make them not human. You're not a human. You're a monkey.
And I understand that, and I get it. What my point is I don't understand how they were thinking that way. What in their soul allowed them to think that way? Now, in my soul, I can't know for sure what I would have felt back then, especially considering how a lot of people felt that way. But in my soul here today, I can't imagine feeling that way. You see what I mean? I can't imagine it. So that's not my point. You know, my point is just that I don't know how people were able to think that way. But from what I've studied about it, a lot of it was class. It wasn't so much the skin color necessarily, because there were other slaves that weren't black. The term is Slavic, and they were white. However, the African kings, the ones that did participate, the slaves or indentured servants, if you will, that they traded were the same color as them, but they didn't have any money. You see, they wasn't going to send their royalty. They wasn't going to trade that, right? So that class had a lot to do with it. But I got another topic I would like to talk about. It's related, and I'm curious. I've been curious about this for a while, and this is the best place to ask the question.
Say it.
Hear it?
Go for
I've heard some black, I don't conservatives. I guess they're probably conservatives, but I've heard some black folks say, more than a couple, not just Camden Owens, but more than a couple, say that black folks in the 60s were better off, and hear me out, not under Jim Crow laws necessarily, but they were better off as a race then, and they'll point to things like divorce rate and abortion rate as compared to today. And I'm curious if you think there's truth to that line of thinking, and if you do think there's some truth to it, what would you say is the reason for it?
Say the question again. Simplify the question, as they would say in mathematics or in English. Simplify.
Okay. Well, simply
short
put,
form of the
like
question.
In the 60s, from what I haven't researched this, but I heard them say it. Candace Owens, I'll just use her because that's the name that's coming up. That the marriage rate.
To be fair, Candace Owens is somebody who wasn't even born in the 60s, but go ahead.
Yeah, but she can study stats just as much as anyone else.
Fair enough.
The point is this. The point is she and others claim that the divorce rate was right on par with white people. Black couples didn't get divorced. And the abortion rate was far, far lower. Now, some of that can be explained because abortion had a terrible stigma attached to it. for years and years, lots of women gave birth to babies that they didn't want to do. I mean, but what I'm saying is, do you think there's truth to the statement that the marriage rate and abortion rate were much lower? And if you do, why do you think it's higher now?
I'm gonna let the panel jump in on that. Brand had a couple babies snatched before. Go ahead, Brandon. What you think? Maybe that was a bad setup. He was like, "I'm not gonna respond to that."
Well, he said he was in and out.
Yeah.
He might not be.
Clips, what's your take on why abortion? What do you think about what Jerry said on why abortion rates? Clearly, they have more clinics now than they had in the '60s. Duh, but so that's one thing. They saw it was a profitable business. Profitable business, Jerry. Snatching babies was popular, so it was a supply and demand. So no different from them going to the corner store and buying a kid. During that time, it was very possible. You also Roe v. Wade was passed at a certain amount of time. What year was Roe v. Wade passed? That
late 40s, I think.
Yeah. So all of those things matter, bro. Because now so instead of women going in dark alleys using clothes hangers and things like that, they can go to a doctor's office, Jerry. So I don't think that's my take. I'm gonna give y'all a short answer because can I go to a dark alley with a clothes hanger, or I can go to my doctor's office and my normal physician? Yeah, you probably get more people going to the doctor's office, Jerry.
Well, then
so
also
you don't think those numbers are true? Is that what you're saying?
No. The numbers are true, but the numbers are true due to accessibility. How about that? Accessibility to options, and also data being kept at a better rate. So you have more data now, and also the lady who found out she was pregnant and went to the alley wasn't going to the doctor to get an abortion. She went down the dark alley, and when more women were dying too. So
the only time they got reported was if she died or she had a real bad and had to go to the hospital. So the girl who, it was a successful termination of the pregnancy in that back alley with a clothes hanger. No, there's no documentation for it other than her guilty conscience. There's
or going to the office,
or
going to the doctor to fix the problem from that clothes hanger and be like, oh yeah, you were pregnant, you had an abortion, so we got a documentation of an abortion.
But remember, sometimes depending on what state it's
short version,
he won't put that on the record.
Right, but the short, but if you got to get treated at the ER, they document that and they can tell by your blood cells and your chromosome count. They knew you was pregnant. But Jerry, do you understand that accessibility creates more options, so you have more data? Is that a fair answer?
Of course.
Go ahead,
of course. But along with that, I would say that while those type of abortions took place, I don't think they were taking place at a rate that would drastically change that number.
Jerry, real quickly now. Remember, what you're giving us data and numbers, but we're not. Once again, it's back to context and all like that. You're not taking into risk the factors that give you that data. So it ain't just
why I asked the question. That's why I asked you guys.
Let me. I said those two or three sentences to where you wouldn't have to say that. I'm sorry, but I said that to say now you also have to look at through eugenics and things like that. You had in the early 1900s that really took off in the 20s, 30s, and then by the 50s, 60s, it's really locked in. You had eugenics programs that were trying to do genocide and ethnic cleansing via medical and social programs. You had people pushing things like homosexuality, corrosive feminism, toxic masculinity. You had Tuskegee experiments that were rendering a lot of men and women infertile. You had also the social experiment, but you had Planned Parenthood and social workers breaking up the family and incentivizing people to not live in a traditional mother-daughter, mother-father nuclear family because they could get money from the government and subsidize housing and all these things as long as there's no man in that.
Clips, they understood the economy, man, of taking the man out the household.
Exactly. I was
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, slavery never ended in America, according to the 13th Amendment. It's just you have to commit a crime and go to jail. So they found a creative way to keep making people slaves, i.e. the corporate prison industrial complex, bro. It's a business.
You gotta commit a crime.
It should not be.
You gotta commit a crime.
Jerry. Jerry, no, Jerry. I'm gonna tell you, bro. I got you on that. When I say I got you,
jail too, bro.
Jerry, no. I'm talking about prior to that, when they knew it was a business, when prison became a business, bro. I'm glad you said that, Jerry. I'll challenge you and everybody in the audience, please. If you're a reader, matter of fact, reading with Reggie Owens, you should do this book, bro. I read this book in college, and I found this book by accident. I knew I had to do a report. It was English too. Blah blah blah. I went in there and just grabbed the book. I knew I wanted to do something about Black studies, this, that, and third, but I just grabbed this book at random. It's called Slavery by Another Name. Lo and behold, Slavery by Another Name would become an award-winning book and documentary about how slavery in America was still slavery, just by another name. Because they can charge you, once they freed those slaves, Jerry, understand this, those slaves didn't have nowhere to go. So they just walking around. You know what we can do now, Jerry? Loitering, vagrancy law. You need to be in the house by a certain time. Well, I ain't got no house. I just got free. You better go in the woods somewhere, nigga. Better hide somewhere. Better do something. You cannot be walking the streets. Cannot just be walking around downtown by our shops and all our businesses and walking across our fields. It was slavery by another name. You can just spitting on the curb, Jerry. I can give you a life sentence, bro. Life sentence. Life sentence means you're about to go work on these railroads, work these mines, and you just never come home. You just get found dead in the cave one day. So Slavery by Another Name, y'all gotta look that up. I forgot the author's first name, but his last name is Blackman. Ironically, he's a white guy, but his last name is Blackman. Blackmo.
I've heard of that book, by the way. Never read it, but I will.
But look, how about this? For the people who don't like books, though, they made a documentary. It was on PBS. They put it on public broadcasting because they wanted everybody to see it. But what I think is dope about the documentary, you get to see the visuals. Even the book has some dope visuals in it. It's very graphic. But it was people writing the president. Yeah. Dear Mr. President, my brother was walking down the street. He was picked up by the police. Hello. Taken to court, got tried and convicted the same day. Told me my brother was going to jail for 10 years. He spit on the curb. What? Or my brother got life in jail. My brother got life in jail just for being outside. You ever heard of those black light cities and what they call them, black towns or sundown towns? Where if you get caught with the sundown, bro, they will grab you, throw you in jail, take you from your family, freedom, and finances, and you are never seen again, bro. Won't even bring your family the body. They'll just tell them, they'll send them a letter. Sorry, he died and we buried him. Next. And that will be it. That would be it. I'm sorry.
No, depending on which state, they might send him a bill if they had to hold him for a couple of days.
Bro, Clips, he might still be alive. We just tell you he's dead. And he's still a slave now because we don't fix the paperwork. So all of that shit right there, Jerry, I get it and I understand. But slavery on paper in America never ended. We just got to say you're a criminal to make you a slave. That's it.
Yeah, but in today's day and age, you got to commit a crime. It's not like that anymore.
Jerry, no, you don't. Jerry. No, let me say this. Damn, Clips, let me say this to him. Clips. Jerry, you misspoke. The word is convicted of a crime. You said you just got to do a crime. No, I just got to convict you. Or I can have the risk of failing in a successful process of our system that's already mischaracterized you for hundreds of years, by your words as well. So you can get life, or you can do 20 years. Most people gonna take the 20. You can get life, or you get 30 years. People want a date. Get life or do 15. Get 30 years or do 5. Get 50 years or do 10. People will take the deal, Jerry. And that's now a conviction, and you now are a slave. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. The law is about you being a convicted criminal, not whether you did it, not whether we can even prove it, but the consequence. The consequence of you not having the consequence of not having. Let me say this, but the consequence of Jerry, I got you. That's why I said you misspoke. It's okay, but the consequence of not having the means, finances, resources, knowledge outweigh life. I can't outweigh that. So people take the deal all the time. Even with it, we see innocent men get found years later exonerated because of DNA, but they pled guilty because, like, damn, I don't have no money to fight the case. And this judicial system, the way it's built off finances. But I digress. Go ahead, Clips, and then we'll go back to Jerry, and then we can end this shit.
Jerry, you said not today, and it's 2024. Do you know why most there are still states in the United States that are Commonwealth? Because do you understand that in the Commonwealth, depending on where you are and how that little local municipalities' laws are, yeah, their due process laws don't have to be 100% like you say in federal law. I live right near the border of Pennsylvania. I have a homeboy. I said this several times. My homeboy B, man, he went to the wrong one of them little like, air quote sundown towns in Pennsylvania, and got caught dirty. And the next time we heard from him, he was already like 8-9 months into a 3-year bid. Basically, like, yeah, they could take you to a judge's house in them small towns, a little local municipality. That judge could slap his hand on a table. They could do the ad hoc hearing and do your little arraignment right there at his house, and it's 100% legal.
We got you. Go ahead.
Anyway, me?
Yeah, keep going. We got you. We know that's true.
No, I'm saying, like, no, they like to where even in this, we say, oh, well, you got to convict a crime. No, we have a system. And then once again, what I keep saying, why is it so hard? When you still never answer my question, why is it so hard to acknowledge Black humanity? But the answer is in what I just said. Because if you don't want to view us truly as human beings, it's easier for you to say lynch that nigga didn't lynch that man. It's easier to say, well, that motherfucker got convicted, fuck him. It's easier to say get that son of a bitch off the field instead of saying get that player who's doing something I disagree with off the field. It's in the same vein as, like you said, about you not liking some dude saying, oh, that white boy. I heard it in your voice when you was talking about how you grew up. You heard that white boy with all the negative connotations to where now as a grown-ass man, even when somebody's saying it in a nice way, it rubs you wrong. So now imagine that little film, imagine all them ginger film, but imagine that multiplied 1,000 total, and there's a system that does that to you. There is a system that says, you know what, you fart too loud, you sneeze too much, I can call that a crime just so I can throw your ass on paperwork and I can do whatever the fuck I want to with you. All right? Meanwhile, a white man can have...
Right, and everybody who's in charge of you don't look like you. And they want to put you back. They need that workforce, Clips. That's what we keep leaving out. I don't want to talk about your homie that just happened a couple months ago, but I'm talking about what Jerry and I were talking about years ago when these people got free. They got free, but the workforce stopped. We need that workforce going. They never just said slavery is wrong and you never can be a slave again. No, you can be a slave, quote, if you are a criminal. If you're criminal, you can be back a slave. They don't have that in other countries. Nobody. I was talking to one of the homies in Europe. They was like, it's crazy y'all go to jail for life for drugs in America. You could be the biggest kingpin in the world. Bro, we ain't giving you life for drugs. Y'all get life sentences for drugs in America. That's crazy.
Well, remember the war on drugs, and then we've had
we've had a few people like Kissinger and all like that who are still alive from the Nixon administration when the war on drugs was initiated, who said that, yeah, it was bullshit. We knew it was a flawed plan and whatever like that, but we needed something to galvanize that silent majority. So telling them the crime on the streets and we're getting these undesirables off the streets felt good. Plus, you know what? We made a lot of money because we were all invested in the military-industrial complex. So if I can't get these boys to die in Vietnam,
also too.
And then, no, I was getting ready to say that. And then they say in the prison industrial complex, because if I can't get these boys to die in Vietnam, guess what? That draft dodging, that's a crime. So there's a win-win. It is a win-win, and it wasn't just blacks on this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the pushback that I'm not trying to personally attack you. Is like, Jerry, when I talk to you, I know you understand these things, but it seems like when we start to try to talk about the racial aspect of it, that's when you kind of like start cringing and everything, because it's not even, we're not even trying to trauma brag. We're just saying, hey, I know you're going through it. But like, to use Mark's analogy, I'm starting from behind the goal line. You got the ball at the 20, if not the 50. And due to no fault of either of us. So let's not act like we're running the same race. Let's not act like it's the same thing. Your red hair is not my black skin.
Bro, when I see a white guy at the unemployment office, I look at him, I'll be like, you failure. How did you end up there?
I don't know why you would do that, man.
Jerry, it's a bad joke. It's a bad joke, but you get what I'm saying? You had all the advantages. Okay, all right. But you get what I'm saying? This is your country. All the law, every other demographic needed an amendment except you, white man. We had to get an amendment for women. We had to get an amendment for blacks, immigrants, everybody else. But you, white man, this shit was built for you.
Yeah, and I acknowledged that earlier when I told you.
Yeah, so when you at the unemployment office, I'm like, why you over here trying to get these black jobs? Stop stealing these black jobs.
When you colonize, you own it. That's how it's always been. I didn't make that up, neither did the white man. That's just the way of the world. So, of course, it was built that way. If it was up to me, it wouldn't have been like that. Everybody would just be equal in a perfect world. I didn't build the world. I don't know why it happened like that, but I will tell Clips, he's pointed out a couple of times that I'm passionate about the white boy thing and that he heard in my voice when I referenced it. But did he also hear me say right prior to that I equally dislike the N-word and that I'm appalled by it?
Jerry, we all know you ain't with that. I'm cool with that. But let me ask you this.
He didn't say that. He's concentrating on the fact that I said that I say about the hanging white boy thing.
No. He was very clear several times. Like, Jerry, I don't want to attack you.
I heard what he just said. Okay. Well, we'll just leave that alone.
Yeah, let's keep it fair. Let's keep moving. I got a question for Jerry, though. I do have a question for you, Jerry. Go ahead, get it off.
I agree with you that slavery still exists in America, but to me, the bigger culprit in current America, not disregarding what you were saying back then, where with the vagrancy and a lot of wrongdoing there, of course, and you could see how that would work that way. But in current day America, to me, welfare is the bigger imprisonment for black folks and white folks. But welfare is, and welfare, the Democrats insisted, because they fought against welfare, and every single
who fought against it? I'm sorry. Who?
The Democrats, the party of slavery, the party of KKK, the party of Jim Crow laws, the party of fighting every single civil rights amendment or movement. And they insisted that with that welfare, that the man couldn't be part of the household, which is a recipe for disaster in any culture, any race. And we know that. And so, there it creates a huge problem. And so I agree with you. Now, here in Baltimore, we got a few big prisons, and they're packed to capacity, and they're a tremendous tax burden on the state. They're no revenue generator. You don't make money by paying to house people. Now, some of them do go out on the workforce, but it's a small minority, be they white, black, Hispanic, whatever they are. It's not enough to make it a revenue generator. And my estimation where that came from is, for the longest time, the prisons were run by government employees, and the government employees were doing lack jobs. they were falling under corruption and everything. So they found that when they outsourced those jobs to independent companies that took it seriously because it was their bread and butter, they found that they were better off that way. But that led people to believe, okay, now there's an incentive there for profit. But that's not where it stemmed from. It stemmed from the government employees being corrupt and
yeah. How did we get there? How did the government employees get corrupt? Go, Jerry. I want to hear your response. I want to know if one word answer or a one sentence answer.
Just like when you see state workers standing around and the 8 guys are standing there and one guy's in the hole
what
working.
I was looking for.
Well, that's exactly the comparison.
Man, y'all, bro, I'm gonna let y'all know, man. Y'all motherfuckers inspired me tonight. I gotta create a whole new channel, yo. I'm about to be on my Reggie Owens shit. Shout out to Box Conversation, Reggie Owens, man. This motherfucker, man. Reggie, Jerry, Clips, Brandon Washington, the chat, Lisa Bells, Bronze. Y'all motherfuckers inspired me tonight. Champion Heart, Gardner, Keeper One. You guys inspired me tonight because, and I say this with all due respect, I realize so many of us are missing information. We got a piece here, we got a piece here, we need to put all these pieces together, man. Bro, and shout out to Blood Boxing. Shout out to Blood Boxing, or document retro boxing and documentaries with Blood Boxing. Or I think Blood Boxing is one channel and retro boxing and documentaries is another conversation. Another channel we has. But I gotta do a documentary channel. And I'm gonna do a documentary because I gotta do it this way because they're gonna probably try to clip me or flag me or take that shit down because I'm gonna be using other people's content like a motherfucker on that shit. But I'm gonna be doing these breakdowns of some documentaries and videos and books that people are just I just realized like that's a gift that I have. Just having this space right here and an audience, man, that are willing to listen, learn. We can disagree and agree, and we don't have to cuss each other out. But it's just like, damn, y'all didn't see this, or y'all don't know this, or shit Clips telling me about. Like, damn, I didn't know that. I gotta look that up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gonna look him up. Never mind. But look, my whole point. Now I want to know about them. I want to know about them $100 trash bags of the weed that was coming across the border. But that's neither nor there.
Yeah, man. You can look that up right now, nigga. I told you that shit. Motherfuckers doing that shit right now to this day.
No,
but
not doing it at 8 years old in 1991.
Jerry, real quick question. How did Bob Barker make most of his money?
The price is right, Bob.
No, Bob Barker. If you're from Baltimore, listen. Let me answer you. You're from Baltimore, so you don't know this. If he was ever locked up in a state west of the Mississippi, most of the states west of the Mississippi, your clothes, your toothbrush, and everything, you'll see a name on it. You're Bob Barker. Bob Barker is the supplier for most of the prison chains and the private prisons in the states of California, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, New Mexico. Like, yeah, you know, like Bob Barker, like you said, it's not a private industry. Well, no, there's people who make money. Michael Jordan invested.
Bob Barker got rich. The state didn't get rich because they had to buy it.
That's why it's our industry. So think about it. If you're like I just told you earlier when I said that the people who are still alive now from the Nixon administration have all gone on record at different times and then a couple times collectively they stood on panels when being grilled about COINTELPRO and the failures of the war on drugs, and they admitted that yes, many of them knew this was some bullshit, but as long as they could make these sweeping criminal, these criminal accusations, criminalize weed, criminalize that, saying it was an attack on the poor as well as the people of color. Because, we go lock them up, and under the 13th Amendment, now you're a slave, and many of us had heavy investments into these private prisons to where, all this state and everything, just like a lot of the PPP loans and all like that scam. It was a lot of these private people who had ties to the government, so they know, hey, if my cousin, if I know Mark and Mark owns this business, hey man, they about to, approve all these loans. I get your shit fast tracked. I just need you to hurry up and, submit all these proposals, and I'll get them fast tracked.
That's what most of the war on drugs was throughout the 70s until the 80s when it came into Reagan, and then when all the South American drug cartels and all the shit that was going on in Central America started coming to the shores of Miami and then eventually to LA, then it started becoming a more of, oh, let's get these urban terrorists, but they didn't want to outright say it. So they just criminalized us, and that's why it was a sensationalism of gang culture. Why do you think the gangs in Cali didn't spread until shortly after movies like Colors and everything like that? Or, you know, cocaine really didn't leave Florida the way it left Florida until after movies like Scarface. These were very deliberate things that they were doing, because under the 13th Amendment, once we get these certain demographics caught up in this culture, all y'all niggas is criminals. Back to what Mark said, dehumanizing, making them all monsters. To where, yeah, a 12-year-old black kid walking from the store with fucking Skittles and a goddamn Arizona goddamn tea looks like a suspicious motherfucker, and it justifies this white man who was not deputized, after being informed by deputized officers to fall back. We are on the way. He felt compelled within his white right and privilege to instigate an altercation with this young boy, because you know what? This nigger does have no... Why is this nigger walking around at night? It's systematic, Jerry. It's deeper than these little cookie cutter answers. Oh, they sold the slaves. Or what about the criminals? And I know it's deeper than that. And that's all I'm saying to you. And I know I'm not attacking you. And no, I never said that. What I said when I stressed about the white boy thing is, I'm like, yeah, just as I feel, I know that. I can hear that. Just like you feel that way. You know, that I'm just saying, yeah, it hits that way for a lot of people in different ways that you, as a white man, you probably can't relate that feeling. And I'm not faulting you for that. I'm trying to give you examples of you don't understand it's deeper than that, to where when somebody says a blanket answer, it's insulting as fuck.
But what you call blanket answer is what I call factual truth, historical truth. And to further that, let me finish. And to further that, what I would also say is, yes, of course, I can't understand every black experience, but nor can you understand every white experience. And
you never heard of it.
I'm sorry. When you say it's deeper and more complicated than that, of course, I realize that. So when I say to you, less than 10% of white Americans own slaves, you don't seem to hear that part, but that's also part of what's deeper and more complicated, you see? So I understand when you say it's more deeper, more complicated, and further reaching. Of course I do. But there's two sides to every story. And that's just one little factoid about white slave ownership here in the United States, that if I say it, it's like you don't even recognize it. Now, how do I know that? I don't know that like I was there, but it's recorded through the census. And that's what was, the census were very important back then. You could go to jail, and people did, for not having the census, man. That's how they keep track of slave ownership. And that's what I've read was the statistic. Nationwide, it was 5%, and in the South, it was 8 to 10%.
Yeah, Jerry, I agree with you. Look, I took African American history in college. I took African American history in college, and I was so blessed and fortunate. I had Professor Harrison, Professor Garrison Harrison, and man, she taught me so many things about American history, not because it was African American history, but I got taught African American history by a black woman in a room full of black folks with a couple sprinkles in there, a couple whites, Asians, some people, Arabs, this, that, and the third. But this was at a black school. And she had free range. And I'm telling you, she said that same thing, Jerry. She was like, yo, it wasn't cheap to own a man. Like that, like every white person didn't own a slave. That's not true. But they all participated into they participated into the slavery thing. They all knew it was wrong. Like knowing what you know now, Jerry. You said how what? You said how. I want to get clarity before I answer. How what?
Did they all participate without all owning slaves?
Jerry, you can participate.
Eventually it came to a head, and we fought a bloody civil war to end it.
No. The Civil War wasn't even about slavery all the way. It was about votes in Congress. Like, let's keep that clear. It was about
that was the
Jerry.
issue
I don't know how much studying you doing on this, or are you talking about emotion, or have you did the research? Did you go to college? Did you take the class? Did you read the notes? Because the things I'm talking. Because Jerry, I can almost guarantee you don't know about it as much as
they
me.
try to claim it.
But Jerry, you know you can look
but
these.
The issue at hand,
Jerry, see, you're having an emotional response.
Convince me. Go ahead.
Okay, once you say I'm not going to convince you, but go ahead. The dance is over. You just cut the music off.
You're not going to tell me that
because you have your mind made up. Once you say that, that means no matter what new information, I can put it on screen. I can play the video. I can go to Jerry. I can go to the notes.
You got a video that's going to
Jerry,
say
even now
otherwise?
you're being reactionary, but that's okay. That's okay. It's how keto, baby. I go with the energy and the flow, baby. We're going with the energy and the flow. It's okay. Jerry, it's okay. Understand this, though.
I know it is.
Understand this.
It's okay to disagree.
No. Disagreement is okay. Ignorance is not.
It is, certainly
Ignorance is not at our age, because documentation should beat conversation any day. Because if I show you a video or a picture,
any way you want.
Jerry, if I show you a picture,
of fact.
I'm sorry, sir.
To me, you're denying the factuals.
What is the fact that I'm denying? Because what I didn't get to say in full what I was about to say. What I was going to say is they have minutes and they have records. Somebody's typing everything every senator in Congress was saying in the United States government. They have records. We can pull up the records in the minutes and the speeches that the senators and congressmen were giving when they were fighting for slavery, fighting for against it, and you'll realize it was about votes, because the people up north were saying, where they saying the black people that they got are people. Are they people or are they not? Because if they're people, that means this. If they're not people, if they're people, they should get these rights. But they're not people. Well, okay, well, they're 3/5 of a man. Jerry, have you ever heard of the 3/5 compromise? Jerry?
Certainly.
So what is that about, Jerry? Oh, I'm about to cook.
It's about
matter of fact, I don't want to cook you, bro, because I love you, Jerry, and it's too late at night to put
and you can't
put old white men on the grill. Respect.
You can't convince me.
And I love you to death.
No,
Jerry, it's a fact.
Why they fought the war,
Jerry? They had a compromise. It was about what was 3/5 of a man compromise? Every 3/5 of a man meant what?
That was saying that
every 3/5 of a man meant what?
Not entirely you. Can I fucking answer? That was black. That was people saying that black folks weren't entirely human. That's what I know it to be.
Which means what? Which means what? Because if you are human, you get
they
what?
Be treated as an object. That was what they wanted to treat them as an object.
Exactly. And if you're an object, that means what? Versus what?
Well, you know the answers to these questions.
No, Jerry. I know the answers, but clearly you don't hear. Let me enlighten you a little bit, and I mean this with all due respect, because the people in the north,
if you feel that's what you're doing,
and if I'm wrong,
you're not enlightening.
And if I'm wrong, correct me. Well, you don't know because I didn't get to say it yet. But like you already said, no matter what I say, your mind is already made up. So keep that in mind too.
On that particular thing, yes, I know why they fought the Civil War. I know the reason why they actually went to battle.
What year did they go to battle?
And that's why when they got done, slavery was over. See, when the war was won, slavery was done. And that's a 1-2 combination right there. Was there states' rights issues involved and other things that were more politically probably correct for that time, being that it was politically incorrect?
But you're so wrong on this, brother.
Was slavery,
brother. But you
so you're telling me that the functional
I didn't get to tell you nothing yet. I didn't
slavery.
even get to say it yet. Like you're being so reactionary. But let me reply to one thing before I reply to the other, and I promise I'll give you the microphone back. First and foremost,
I've been listening to you.
Because your timeline makes it seem like something happened on Monday and the other thing happened on Tuesday, or this happened at the beginning of the year and the other shit happened 5 or 10 years later. Jerry, that
No, they
3/5.
fought the war and then slavery
I'm
ended.
not talking about. I'm talking no 3/5 compromise. Do you know how long that shit lasted before we had a civil war, Jerry?
Oh, quite a while, I would imagine.
No. Fucking imagination. You speaking in facts right now. You've been speaking actual factual. I thought.
No, why don't you tell me and then tell me what relevance it has to the war?
I'm going to, and I'm glad you asked.
Go ahead.
And I'm glad you asked. Sir, understand this. That 3/5 compromise happened in 1787. So we're in the 1700s. And you can go to the Constitutional Convention. This shit is online, man. Y'all can read this shit. And y'all can read all of y'all senators from whatever state y'all at right now. Who was a state then, of course. Because some of y'all wasn't in states back then. But some of y'all can go back to then and you can read that they are arguing about population for representation and taxation. It's about votes in Congress, bro. Because our whole shit is about no taxation without representation, right? So these people was like, well, I got more people than you. Damn, bro. Now you said, Jared, we ain't talking about black folks being allowed to vote. Are they people in your state or not? So we had to agree to disagree. That so yeah, you got a lot of people there, but they're not people. Because you said they're not people. Jerry, this shit is documented, bro. Like, we arguing about some shit with all due respect. I don't think you've done any research on. Because to all due respect, you have no reason to, because all the laws in this country been made for you and your people. But that's okay. But I'm about to enlighten you real quick. If you're patient and give me just a couple minutes, because I promise I ain't gonna take that.
I'm not saying anything.
No, you just did.
You would get to your point.
You just did. You just did. You just did, and you're doing that. You're doing it now, sir.
Because you keep repeating.
It doesn't need a requirement. Nothing I'm
me.
saying now needs a reply, sir. Just be patient. Like I'm trying. You said you didn't know. Just mute your mic. You got a mute button on your phone. Hit the mute button on your phone.
I want to hear you keep saying that.
Hit the mute button on. Which, Jerry, you can't. Jerry, you can't pick and choose the order of what I'm about to deliver the information. If you want to receive the information, just receive the information, and that starts with muting your mic.
The information.
Just starts with muting your mic. Let's start there. Can you mute your mic?
No, I'm on a house.
So you okay? So can you be quiet? Do you have self-control to be quiet? You're not even doing it now, Jerry. I can't even continue now. Jerry, you're going back and forth with me now. All you have to say is, Mark, I'm done. Can you say, Mark, I'm done? Go ahead. Thank you.
No, I never said that.
Okay, so thank you. I'm gonna go ahead, sir. So the 3/5 compromise. Damn, Jerry, you doing it again. Just relax. Look, the 3/5 compromise was reached among delegates. That means representation. During the 1787 Constitutional Convention, said that already. Jerry didn't want to hear it, but it's okay. We're gonna learn them. We're gonna learn everybody in the chat too. But that said, 3 out of every 5 slaves was counted as a state's population for legislation, representation for taxation. So people misunderstand that. People thinking 3/5 of a man meaning half of a person. You know what I'm saying? No, they're not saying from your head, shoulders down to your waist, you're a person. A lot of people are misunderstood and misinformed by what that means. That means no. Put five black people together. That's 1. 3 out of every 5 black slaves you put together, that's 1. So you got 10 people, 10 black slaves, that's 2. And so forth. You get what I'm saying? You got 20 black slaves, that counts as 4. It's about population for legislative and representation and taxation purposes. That's what that's about. That happened in 1787. What people don't understand, like Jerry keeps alluding to, like, he was like, well, and that didn't work, so we went to war. Jerry, that shit happened almost 100 years later. The Civil War was in 1861. Almost 100 years later, man. Or at least 80 years. Come on, bro. It's 2 different things. And at that point, the racism and the shit has gotten out of control. So when we talk about are black people in a better place than they were in the 60s, bro, we've been fighting this shit since the 1700s. We finally got people to say, let's be civil in the 60s. Stop sicking your dogs on me. You said I can vote. Stop sicking your dogs on me when I'm at the voting booth. Can my kids go to school and drink out the water fountain? Do we not have to walk 3 miles in the snow to get to school? Jerry, this is like public record. You can go look up the minutes of this meeting.
Denied any
no,
of
no,
that.
no, bro.
I never denied
No,
any
you
of
said
that.
the civil rights, the Civil War was all about quote unquote slavery. No, it wasn't all about slavery. It was about votes in Congress and people saying, hey, look, well, you got so the people up north were saying, so 3 out of every 5 desks I own in my building, should those things be counted as a vote? Because every 3 out of 5 men that he has, he's saying that's a vote. Because you have you have the House and the Senate. Everybody get 2 senators, but the House is about population. You do know that, right, Jerry?
Of course I know.
So you get how many
nothing that I don't
Jerry,
know,
well, Jerry, you
Let's
get how
get
many
that established.
Jerry, you get how many you get certain amount of representatives in Congress in the House based off your population. So back then they had to they had to make a compromise. They had to say, well, look, you got all them people, but all them people ain't men. All them people ain't people. They slaves. Well, no, they people, man. Well, no, they slaves. Well, let's do a compromise where 3 out of every 5 slaves will be counted as a vote. That means
which is my point exactly.
That's not what your
pivotal, that was the pivotal thing. That was the pivotal thing. Why would all these representatives comment on what I'm saying is pivotal? The black man and of course representation and things fall in line with that. Of course they do. But the issue wasn't something about farming. The issue wasn't something about land ownership between white men and where boundaries are.
We got Jerry, but we got there because of the 3-5 compromise. These people fought to say, I want to keep my damn slaves. I want to keep my slaves.
Exactly. That's why.
No,
they
but
fought.
The 3-5 compromise, that was people compromising, saying that these people aren't people. And that they tried that for about 80, 90 years, but they kept making more slaves in the north. Like, that shit was wrong. It was immoral, Jerry. And the bottom line up front is the shit started with votes. It's about power. It's about who can control the government. And these people was like, well, we got more people down here, more slaves, and we're going to make these slaves an army now. And if you sign up and fight with us, you're going to get your freedom. Like, that shit is, man, this shit is deep, man. This shit is too deep for a late night conversation. I tell you that, because it's so much going on. No. Jerry's right, but he's misinformed too, because he thinking like, the 3-5 compromise, like everything was about slavery. No, it's about power, money, and control in the government. And I'll implore many of you guys to look that shit up, man. Like, I studied this shit.
That's an easy
you can read the minutes. You can read the minutes, Jerry.
Government's always about power. It's always about power.
Yes, and we went to war over that shit.
Of course it is. No, we went to war over the key issue. The key economic issue was slave ownership. Those laws
but why?
It was about power, but
it's not because they wanted the slaves to be counted as people for power, bro.
Thank you, because remember, what was power? Power is wealth. And power is also people as far as a labor and military force. And what were black people in America? We were a free source of labor, which is one facet of power. And labor generates wealth, which is the other facet of power. And what the people in the North was worried about, what Mark was trying to explain to you with the 3-5 compromise, is because the northern states were worried that, you know what, if these Southerners can if they can count these people on their census, they can have more senators. And depending on what they want to do, now that if they want to try to militarize these, these slaves, they've got us by the numbers. So there goes all the facets of power, but it all boils down to way deeper than, they just went to war to free the slaves. No, they went to war for
power, and after slavery, after Civil War, what was the first thing they did? They found out ways to still use black people as a free source of economic, of wealth generating free labor. And while still trying to suppress our votes. Hence why we have 2 Civil Rights Acts. I keep bringing that up. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's so crazy. We're the only group of people in this country who and even still that Civil Rights Act has never just been 100% right. Every few years, they've got to vote on it again. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like it's deeper than that. There is an ingrained animus towards blackness, which is based back to our original point, which is Teofimo and how we got here, was based off the fact that there are these groups who are so entrenched within our society and throughout the world who are looking for any reason to refuse black humanity. I know that's not who you are, Jerry.
Economics, bro. Economics and political control. Slavery was the moral issue. Slavery was the moral issue. But in fact, it was about
issue.
That's bro. That's who the people that push the buttons.
Has free labor.
No. The moral shit, it got the common folks involved, the poor whites and the poor blacks, and everybody else who are slaves too. Like you said, everybody was. It was a lot of poor people that were indentured servants and slaves as well. They just got to go home, and the master didn't come to their house and fuck their wife. They were overseers. They come over there, get their shit done, and go home. But at any time, he could have strung his ass up too, the overseer. The master could have did that to the overseer. You work for me, boy. I'm your boss. I'm the owner of all of y'all, everything I see. But that shit changed, bro, because it got to the point where it was more about economics and political control. That's what actually started the Civil War. But yes, but the moral issue was slavery. But the people that was in charge, that supplied the weapons, pushed the buttons, that wanted control, that was economics and political control over the entire system that caused the conflict. That's why they had a whole president down there, their own general. They had their own troops. This shit is deep, man. This shit is deep.
Economics. The South had free labor, so they were far outdoing the North. The North didn't have that, and they did not like that. You see, now some
they could have had it, Jerry. Why didn't do it? You don't think it was no slaves in the North?
There was, and so that's a misnomer that people think that there wasn't, because there was.
Yes,
but it's also widely known that in the northern part of the country, slavery was not looked at the same way. And in the South, it was used for a tremendous labor force, where cotton was the cash crop of the day as far as textiles. And so while some were morally against it, I would think that a lot more were financially against it. You see,
actually, that's also another misnomer.
Yeah, because that's where the ports were. The main ports were up north, like in where what we call New England now.
Yeah, the main crop in America up until marijuana was made illegal in the early 1900s. The main cash crop in America throughout the civil, when they were all cotton, no, it was hemp. You made your papers with hemp. You made most of your clothes with hemp. You used hemp for hemp sales. What year are you talking about?
What century are you talking about, Cliff? Are you talking about 17, 18? What century are you talking about?
Up until marijuana, what I just say. Up until marijuana was made illegal in the early 1900s.
Yeah, but so back then, hemp wasn't
the whole
illegal.
History of this country, hemp. We used a lot of hemp farms. It was, that was a big thing and everything. And so in the North, you're right, Jerry. There were still slaves in the North. Like, people forget, most of what's now beautiful Manhattan and Central Park actually was a independent slave town, where when New York abolished slavery, most of the slaves built their own little town, and eventually they lost that shit, just like on some Lake Lanier shit in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? But it's deeper than just economics. The black dollar. Back to what you were saying about
the country music thing and culture. Why do you think blacks are so influential on culture? The black dollar is something, the black wealth and black cultural influence on the world is something that there are many in America who feel they have the IP copyright for, even though they have nothing to do with it, other than they will come and exploit it because they keep themselves in these little positions where they profit from black labor and black labor and black incarceration, black crime. You know, there's a lot of people when think about the opioid epidemic. Do you think the crack era would have been half as bad as it would if America looked at crack the way it took 15, 20 years for America to look at opioids? And what was the difference? The only difference was crack was affecting brown and black communities. It was affecting a lot of white communities, but it was mainly affecting brown and black communities. And so nobody cared. What's the classic line from The Godfather? Let the niggers do it. They're animals anyway. Why? Because we can profit from all that. We can profit from the drugs. We can profit from the incarceration and the policing. We can get profit off the rehab. We can profit off going campaigning saying, listen, you don't want to live next to these crazy drug-fueled monkeys.
All right, so look. So look. Biggest commodity in 1700s was sugar, right? In the Atlantic world, that was in the 17th century, right? Similar to the economic importance of oil today, European countries competed to establish sugar plantations in the Americas and fought wars to control the best sugar areas. Also, let's keep that going. And that was in the 1700s. Let's go to the 1800s. I think 18 is going to be tobacco, right? Okay. 1800s, tobacco. Tobacco was the most valuable commodity in America in the economic form from 1803 to the 1973, and I think from 1937. And there was a major cash crop. Yeah, bro, they got a good run off that cotton, didn't they?
They have a nice run. I'm looking at it.
All right. It was a major cash crop in development. 1860, the region was producing 2/3 of the world cotton. Cotton was vital to American economy due to British demand and demand, supply and demand. You supply, we demand it. Like, we went to war with y'all. Y'all won the war. Let's just trade together. You get what I'm saying? We'll just trade. Helpful fuel the industrial revolution of both the United States and Great Britain. We worked together. Eli Whitty, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's go. 1900s.
Well, I got a closing statement.
We got coal, and in the 1900s, it was coal, oil, natural gas, opium, silver, gold, rubber, and all of that. And we can do a whole nother topic on that. But yes, at one point, these things were important, like because you don't see tobacco was big in America, but globally, as far as the economy, for America for a long time, it was sugar and cotton, keeping the world going around. But let's pass the mic and we can close this shit after this. We'll revisit this later, I'm sure.
Regarding hemp, yes, they say the Constitution was written on hemp paper. Hemp was a textile that was widely used. But back then it wasn't illegal to grow it either. The reason cotton took over hemp is because cotton, there's reasons for it. And the reason hemp wasn't that popular in the North is because hemp and marijuana as a whole doesn't typically do as well in northern regions as it does in southern regions where it's hotter and the days are longer. Okay, so
let him finish, bro, because I'm gonna land it, bro. Let him get his final thoughts off, and then you close out.
Later on in the 1940s or whenever they classed marijuana, I mean that happened a lot later for wrongful reasons. I would agree. One other thing, and then one thing real quickly. Regarding crack and its effect on black people, of course, but here in the Baltimore, D.C. area, most of my friends I went to high school wound up being crackheads. They were all white, except for one guy that hung with his Damon. And they would go to D.C., and between Baltimore and D.C., For every black crackhead, there was a white crackhead. Crack didn't just affect white people, nor did heroin. I got 3 cousins dead in the ground, none of them over the age of 40, from heroin. And they lived in the suburbs out here. And the opioid epidemic and the other drug, meth, those are almost exclusively white drugs. And they went on for the longest time. West Virginia is an almost all-white state, and it was the king capital of opioids. People's lives ruined. Lastly, I'll say this, Mark. If you was to have another channel, you'd be the perfect guy to do it, because you give people room to express their opinion, and even though we may disagree on things, you don't necessarily belittle people, because if you're going to have a show like that, if you want to get white people to call in and honestly give their opinion, you seem to know that you can't attack them for their opinion or try to paint them in a way necessarily that might not be the correct representation. So you'd be the man for the job, I would say.
I appreciate it, Jared. Thanks for calling in, bro.
And I hope nothing said here tonight makes you guys feel any differently about me, because I don't feel any differently about you, and we can all learn. We can all learn. Oh, and lastly, I'll say this: when I was coming up, homosexuals were treated poorly. There was an incredible stigma attached to being homosexual.
Your homo sound white, bro? Why are you waving the flag? What's up? No, I'm trolling. I'm trolling. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to add a little comedy to it. But go.
I would also say the same thing about women who had abortions back then. They were shamed. But you know what? Nowadays, homosexuals, I'm sure in certain areas there's incidences and stuff, but in a general sense, we're way removed from that. My point is, as humans, even though I'm a Christian, I believe that we're evolving. We learning from mistakes from the past, and we evolve to a higher line of thinking. And when I mention the cultures being shared, and when I talk specifically about black folks in country, don't get it mistaken. It's not that there's a ton of them in there, but there's more than there was, because it was just Charlie Pride. He was the only guy, right? And country music loves Charlie Pride, and the white people who like country music. But what's her name? What's his name's wife? What's her name? Real Rich. She tried to cross over the country, didn't work for her. Those black guys that are in country music right now, they're making damn good music. I don't know if it's so much about the black dollar in that instance, because there's so few. It's just there was always only one, and now you're seeing, some more black people getting there. She tried to do it, didn't work for her.
Talking about Beyonce?
Her song, Beyonce, yeah. But for Darius Rucker, and there's other guys. One guy, his name I can't remember right now, but I'm a huge fan of his. He's a light-skinned brother, but it don't matter. He's a brother. You wouldn't have seen that 20, 30 years ago. We're evolving. I think we're getting better. You know what I mean? It's not discounting all the horrible shit. And like when you talk about the 3/5 thing, you did teach me something there, because I always thought that meant that the individual was 3/5 of a human, not the way you phrased it, where it's 3 out of 5.
Right.
Yeah. So I
limits the population. Look, that limits your population. That means that means for every 5 million people you have, only 3 million of them we gonna count as one person.
I see.
Real quick, Mark and Jerry.
I gotta end it, yo.
After
Clips. I want him to get his final
thoughts.
Go ahead, Clips.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
All right, go ahead, Clips, and we're gonna land it after that.
But yeah, after the 3/5 compromise, then they started doing things like redlining and gerrymandering to control population numbers, because it's still about votes and economics, controlling black labor, black wealth. That's why many places that you see in many urban centers where you see blacks gathered, many of them places will be food deserts and everything like that. The shopping malls and everything will be in the suburbs outside of that black community, meaning all that tax money goes to pay non-black communities, not that black center that is fueling a lot of that. That's the same principle. It's been that principle. But yeah, final thought, fuck Teofimo Lopez, and
second that.
And I'll third that.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me give y'all take on this. Oh, look. Because when I hang up the phone with y'all, I ain't taking no more calls. I'm going to be done for the night. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be done for the night. If they wanted to call in, they would have been in the chat saying call in. And even then, I found a way for the people that wanted to call in. Puro wanted to call in, I sent them away. Brandon wanted to call in, I made a way. Anybody else would try to call in, I would have made a way. They ain't trying to call in. Let me say this, man. Final thoughts on, what was the other topic on the docket? Oh, Diddy didn't make bail. Anybody surprised? Like, I'm surprised. I would have thought 50 million bail package or better, they would have got him out. Robert Durst got bail with a $3 billion in New York, I believe, too. Like, he got a $3 billion bail package that was reduced. So for the people saying 50 million seemed like too much, nobody got murdered in this shit. Nobody got, he's not charged with rape, murder, none of that shit. Like, he's not even charged with the guns. Are y'all surprised that he didn't get $50 million bail? And be brief on that, because I want y'all to take on this exploding pagers in the Middle East too, because I want to touch both of these topics with y'all real quick. Clips, you go first, then Jerry.
Okay. No, I'm not surprised. One, he's a black man. So back to our original point, the Dred Scott decision still never been overturned. Okay? Jerry, name a race of any other race in America where there's got a decision that says that no black man has any right.
I don't want you to go at Jerry. I don't want you. Yeah. Fuck with Jerry. Don't go back and forth with Jerry. Just talk about Diddy not making bail. Stay on that.
Let me finish my sentence. You're trying to predict what I'm doing.
Start going with Jerry. I don't want to go back and forth with Jerry.
No, I'm not. Stop. I got it.
All right.
Okay. So, Dred Scott decision. Okay. Sean Diddy Combs is already a monster. His money don't mean shit. Nobody died. But remember, Dred Scott decision, a black man has no rights that anybody in America, said that a white man in America is supposed to respect. So, nigga, you can sit in jail because you're a bad man. Like I said, when you asked me about him the night before, they're trying to squeeze him. They're going to squeeze him because he's either going to fall on the sword or he's got to tell on his handlers. And so they're going to squeeze him. Hell no, he wasn't getting bail. As far as what happened in Israel with the pagers, that's crazy as hell because
no, clips. I don't want you to go on there yet. I'm gonna do that separately. I just want you to take on this, want Jared doing this, and then I'm gonna set that up. Matter of fact, I'll probably do a whole another episode on that.
Oh, I thought you were doing final thoughts and just doing all that.
No. Just want you to take on the Diddy not making bail. Are you surprised? Jerry, Diddy not making bail. Are you surprised that a $50 million bail package wasn't enough?
Well, a little bit I'm surprised because he doesn't seem to be a flight risk. Now, I got to be honest with you. I don't know the details. I listened to what you had on your show last night. Typically, when the feds make an indictment, the case is pretty much closed. And what I would say to the black man in America is Jeffrey Epstein was basically accused of the same things, and he wound up in jail, and he was murdered in jail. So I'm not going to make it a black-white thing. I know some are going to insist that that's what it is, but the same thing happened to Epstein. He was guilty. He was accused of the same sorts of things that I'm hearing with Diddy. Now, if Diddy is guilty of those things, to me, deserves life in jail. I got a daughter, and I know that I would never want her being forced in any way to prostitute or things like that. But these things got to be proven, right? Like you said last night, having KY and shit is not proof. But that's just dressing that they're going to bring any little detail that they can. You got to have some hardcore crimes, but I don't know. They must feel that they have that. So I am a little bit surprised because he didn't try to flee. He's had time to do so because he's been in this trouble for a while. $50 million to the federal government is probably nothing, but still that's a substantial amount of money to secure he's not going to go anywhere, right? And I think he offered to put an ankle bracelet too. So, I mean, that just tells you he's not going to go anywhere. But I don't know exactly what they really after him for. Lastly, I'll say this. What I more don't understand than anything is how a guy who is so independently wealthy would even involve himself with shady hoeing and pimping and guns with scratched off serial numbers. Why? Why get involved with that? You're stinking rich. If you're a freak, you can be a freak legally. If you want to own guns, you can own guns legally. I don't understand why you would even bother. But to answer your question in the final, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. Surprised would be the word, but I thought that they would give him, especially with the ankle bracelet. Because I would imagine the biggest thing they want to make sure of is that he doesn't flee, because he's got probably the money and the means that he could flee.
But if he does flee, you got his money. So maybe you want more money, just in case. Like Robert Durst, $3 billion. But those were murder stuff. So we seen people get billed. We seen people get billed for worse crimes. You know what I'm saying? But
again, I don't know the full span of what we're talking about here. Like you said, I haven't heard murder. People were saying kids. I haven't heard nothing about kids.
Me neither.
It sounds like they could make a case that they were consenting adults. So it ain't over yet. I mean, just because the feds bring it don't mean they're going to win it. But in my experience, typically by the time they bring it, they've already won it.
Or they charge you with so much where I'll leave the door open to charge you with a lesser crime. You completed this. You don't get life, but you get 15 to 20 for the gun, for the gun, or for the drugs, or for this, that. You know what I'm saying? They'll find a lesser charge. But we'll talk about it more, I'm sure. Thank you, Jerry, for calling in. I appreciate your time and energy, bro.
Hey, thank you, Mark. You too, Clips.
All good, Jerry, man. Great conversation.
Man, we got to find a way to start earlier, Clips, huh? Jerry, Clips. We got to find a way to start earlier, man. Damn, man. Because we be cooking, man.
Nigga, I was half asleep when I got your notification that you was going live. I was half asleep. I almost rolled my eyes and was about to text you, motherfucker. I was about to, you motherfucker.
Man, hey, look, the late night show. What's it? Tonight Show and the Late Night Show. They two of the most successful shows in the history of America. And 60 Minutes is the longest running news program, I think. Those shows start at 11 and 12 o'clock at night. Jay Leno, Tonight Show, 60 Minutes. Them shit start about 11, 12 o'clock at night on the East Coast. So I don't know, y'all. It don't look like I know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. Y'all just gotta trust me, man, and just rock with me, yo.
Well, one thing real quick. What is this exploding pagers? They still got pagers? What?
Okay, short version, and I'll do a video so you guys can do your own research. There was an attack in
Lebanon,
and it was like over 3,000 people have been injured. They had pagers, so Hezbollah and other people around the world in the Middle East was like, "Yo, Israel can tap into the technology. They tapped into these satellites because they good with America. So let's not use cell phones. They can read our messages because we're using the internet. So let's use an old school version of technology with pagers. Those pagers came from Budapest, allegedly, right? Maybe, possibly. But they were all laced with at least one, according to all reports, between 1 to 2 ounces. Very small. I mean, that shit is it's like you guys been to the airport. You seen how big a little small bottle of cologne is? That shit had in between 1 and 2 ounces. So some people just had 1, some people had 0.8, 0.9, but it was loaded with explosives that were set to explode once we sent a certain text to this page. So they thought they was getting away from the phones because they had a way with the phones where they can remotely heat up the lithium battery in the phone and make the phone blow up. If we know that's your phone and you got the phone, we can make that phone heat up and explode. So now they had a way. So they thought they did something with the pagers, but the pagers were able to be intercepted, and they were able to load those pagers up that we gave all these people. Some of these people gave these pagers to their wife, kids, whatever, and they put these pagers out. And these pagers, once a certain text message was sent, it would make the pager explode. So they're baby bombs. Everybody walk around with these bombs. And what they did that on Tuesday. 9 people killed, even little kids. Israel, the government of Israel. So that happened on Tuesday. Today, on Wednesday, while some people are having funerals and things like that for those dead people, they blew up walkie-talkies today. So all those new
I was just about to
walkie-talkies you
say,
got.
see what they did today with the Walking Dead.
Go ahead, Clips. And then we can land it after that.
I
I ain't trying to get into the deep topic tonight because, like I said, this shit deserves its own episode. I was just trying to tell Jerry what was going on. I was just trying. Go ahead, because you are getting into it right now. Like, you can't cut me off. I was just trying to fill Jerry in. Just trying to tell Jerry what was going on and tell the people in the chat what was going on. I don't want to have a whole conversation about it. I gotta go, and I keep saying I gotta go.
All right, boy.
We'll
see
talk
you on the next show.
You said, "All right, boy." You call me boy?
No, man. What are you
Nah.
on, bro? You must be getting tired.
No. I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
I said I'll see you on the next show.
Absolutely, my man. Go ahead, Clips. Final thoughts, Clips. I gotta go.
Man, great show, man. I'm gonna let you go and get up out of here, man. Yeah, great topics. And yeah, that's all. All I was saying was I thought I was muted. I was like, okay, you heard about what happened they did today with the walkie-talkies. Yeah, and that's crazy because that means they're indiscriminately putting explosives into all these shipments. So pretty much anything electrical that's going in Lebanon, And then as far as Hezbollah, that's sloppy work as an intelligence agency. That is a device used for intelligence shit. Y'all supposed to break that down and put it together to make sure, everything's up and up. I mean, hell, we used to do that with burnout phones back in the day. Y'all ain't check y'all shit?
That's crazy, bro. They know now. They thought they was being smart with them old pages. They was like, yeah, we're going to use the beepers from back in the day. Man, that's genius. All it takes is one person say, we're using pages now. And you guys have, oh my God, this is bad. But it's going to just escalate, Clips. This is just Israel bringing America into another war. And we're going to talk about that. Israel is definitely trying to bring us into a war. And I'm just curious, are we going to get into the war like before, during, or after the election? Because it's about
October surprise. And October surprise, my brother. The shit's growing wings. The shit is growing wings.
Hell yeah, man. We'll talk about it, though. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for pulling up, man.
All right, peace, brother.
My nigga. All right. It's been another great episode of Breaking Beats where we break down business, entertainment, art, technology, sports, and anything else you and I feel like talking about. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for your time, your energy. Thanks for allowing me the opportunity to entertain y'all this evening. Hopefully you're thoroughly entertained. He said they blew up the solar panels. Yep, Deuce. We'll talk about it, though. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all again, man. Hey, look, respect is free. Disrespect gonna cost you everything, your freedom, your finances, most importantly, your life. So let's show each other love. Let's show each other respect. If not, let's show each other the door. You go your way, I go mine. God willing, we both will do fine. Unless you're Teofimo Lopez, fuck you.
Never heard of it.
I ain't rocking with the kid, yo. I'm done with him. Nah. And if you rocking with Teo, I'm looking at you with a slanted eye right now, G's. And that's on your mama's mama. All right. Hey, look, drinks require your sleep, goals require your effort. Go out there and get your goals. I'm about to go out there and get both, my nigga. It's your man Martin Nash at Breaking Beats, where we break down business, entertainment, art, technology, sports, and anything else you and I feel like talking about. We are the #1 hip-hop political sports show with a comedy twist. We like to let the jokes fly. You know why. Life is serious enough, man. Life getting real serious in the Middle East. Life getting very serious here in America. But more importantly, we have a great distraction this weekend. Anthony Joshua will face off Daniel Dubois. And I will be watching that, supporting that in a major way. So we're going to have some good fun with these other topics this weekend, but don't get confused what we on this weekend. AJ and Dubois. Good card, good fight. We're going to have a good time talking about it. And it's a UK card, so it's going to be a midday show. So we're going to get a midday, early afternoon, evening show. So Heights going to be on like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's going to be a good one. All right. Tomorrow, I don't know. I'm not going to guarantee y'all I'm going to do a show. I have training tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be training day. And starts at 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Last training session was like 8, I'm thinking we left to like 9. I think we ended at 9:45. I stayed around, was talking to the homies until about 10, 15. Came home, took a shower, get ready to do the show. I can't guarantee y'all I'm going to do a show tomorrow. I don't know if I will or won't. So I don't want to overcommit, but I will do something for the members, though. So if I don't do nothing else, I will do a members only show tomorrow. But as far as the live for everybody, I can't commit to that. I'm just be honest, because I'm sore as hell now from Tuesday's work. And tomorrow is not going to be any easier. So can't guarantee y'all it's going to be a live like this. But if you're a member, you're going to get some content. Or if you're on the Patreon, you're going to get the content. Everybody else, man, I see y'all this weekend. If I don't see y'all tomorrow, I'm going to try, though. But if I'm not, hope y'all understand. It's a long road. It's a long road. Not easily traveled, man. But congratulations to everybody who made it through this shit. If you sat here through 3 hours and 47 minutes of this shit.
What up?
I'm not.
Go back to your country, white power.
Appreciate Jerry for pulling up, man. Shout out to Jerry. Jerry, you killed that shit tonight. Clips, Brandon Washington, everybody in the chat. I love y'all. Hope you love yourself. If not, guess what? God loves you, and so does Martin Nash here at Breaking Beats and the neighbors in the neighborhood. Hey, look, man. Sometimes we're gonna agree, sometimes we're gonna disagree. But one thing's for certain, two things for sure, homeboy, homegirl. Never forget this.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
I say it every single night. I say it every night. I don't know why y'all don't believe me. I throw it all away and I burn it down before I let you have it. You want to go the other way. It's going to go this way. Shout out to everybody in the neighborhood that made this shit possible tonight. It's your man Martin Nash. Let's get it. See y'all on the next one. Peace.
Hey, it's Antonio Tarver Champion. You're watching Martin Nash at Breaking Beats. I usually don't do drops, but I'm going to give you one, bro. I'm going to give you one. I love you, champ.
This that squad sound. This is me, man.
Hey, Puro said, you know what? Puro said, I'm going to go unsubscribe if I don't get, you know what? I might be one of those people. I make that video. I should say, you can't talk in the chat unless you've been subscribed for like 90 days or 3 months or a year. I'm going to start doing that. Let me see who's able to talk in the chat. You can't talk in the chat unless you've been subscribed for 6 months or some shit like that. Yeah. That might be my new style. Let's see who's still able to talk to me in the chat. I mean, I won't get notifications, so I unsubscribed and subscribe it. Whatever, nigga. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Subscribe. I don't care how many subscribers he has. Support him. So he made all this possible. He made this possible.
Not at all, Dr. Mark. God made this possible. And so the viewers like you. I see y'all on the next one. Peace.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
Valentine, where you at? Nick Riggs, this bitch. Pittsburgh T on the Twitch. Yeah. You can tell nothing there. That nigga Chris on the way. I love y'all, man. Peace.